News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:02. I'm Manda Factor, and here's what's happening. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is brushing off the recall petition filed against her, telling reporters she's focused on leading the city. A King County judge will hear the case August 31st. Time is running out for Seattle Public Schools and the Teachers Union to reach a deal before school starts September 2nd. The union is threatening to strike if there's no new contract by the end of the month. 3 firefighters ended up in the hospital after fire tore through a Bellevue office building yesterday. The roof collapsed. About 75 firefighters battled that fire before knocking it down. Seattle police looking for whoever shot a man near Rocks Hill Park in southwest Seattle yesterday afternoon. He is in serious condition. And Tacoma's Soundview Little League opened the Little League World Series with a 2-0 extra innings win yesterday in Williamsport. It's 5:03. That's time for an early check on the Thursday drive. It is Thursday.
Yes, it is.
Sully?
Yeah, I believe so.
Good morning.
Morning, Amanda. Yeah, we're doing well. All green on the map. Really quiet so far. We have an Olympia to Tacoma drive of about a half an hour, and all of Pierce and Thurston County are quiet. All green there. And Federal Way to Seattle following up with a 35-minute trip there. Valley Freeway's about 35 minutes as well. Rented to Bellevue's under 15. Lake bridges are quiet. Coming down from the north end, a pretty easy day so far. We've got 35 minutes to go from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
It's now 5:04. Progressive Democrats scored some unexpected wins in Florida's primary elections, raising fresh questions about where the Democratic Party is headed into November. ABC's Brad Melke breaks down what the results could mean for Democrats nationwide and whether this is the beginning of a larger political shift. Start here, starts now.
All year, we've been talking about how the midterm elections could define President Trump's last 2 years in office and how, therefore, midterm primaries could define the election. Well, don't look now, but primary season has almost wrapped up.
I just want to say that your love and support drove me each and every day.
On Tuesday, voters headed to the polls in Alaska, in Florida, and Wyoming. That only leaves a handful of northeastern states to go. So what have we learned here? Let's check in with ABC's Deputy Political Director, Ben Siegel. Ben, we're less than 24 hours out from knowing the results to some of these races now, so let's all take a breath. I guess, what were your takeaways from this latest round of contests?
Brad, a couple interesting things in Florida, a state we don't usually talk about that much anymore, partially because it's moved to the right under Donald Trump. But actually, one of the most interesting results from Tuesday night was on the Democratic side. You had a Democratic socialist, Angie Nixon, a state representative, a progressive, score a major upset in the Senate race in Florida. She beat Alex Vindman, who, if that name sounds familiar, it's because he was a major figure in the first impeachment of President Trump in his first term. So he was a real darling of some people on the left. He had raised $16 million from people across the country, 16 times more than Nixon, but she won comfortably.
If wanting your neighbor to afford their insulin is radical, then call me a radical.
This is someone who ran on freezing rents, taxing billionaires, expanding healthcare access in a diverse state, and it'll be really interesting to see how much traction she gets, especially because she will be on the ticket with David Jolly.
That we embrace capitalism, that we let the private sector lead.
He is the Democratic candidate for governor in Florida, and he's, in fact, a former Republican congressman who has disavowed socialism and says he supports capitalism. So just a very interesting split screen that we're seeing on the Democratic side in Florida.
And it's interesting because, right, Alex Vindman lost. I think Dan Goldman also lost his race in New York, which these are kind of like heroes of the resistance is how a lot of people describe them. And yet you got the feeling that some Democrats were like, I'm over making everything about President Trump. Is that the case for Republicans too? Or is Trump still like the reason you win or lose an election? Or what is that looking like?
On the left, we're seeing real energy behind the candidates who seem to channel the frustrations of voters and are the most angry. On the right, it's usually been the most MAGA candidate wins and someone who earns the endorsement of President Trump. And President Trump is still a kingmaker in the Republican Party. Right. But on Tuesday night, there were 3 candidates who had his endorsement who actually came up short and lost their races. One was in the governor's race in Wyoming. His Republican pick lost there. And another one was Corey Mills, the embattled Republican from Florida who was accused of sexual misconduct and faced domestic abuse and campaign finance violations. President Trump endorsed him, and he lost to a former news anchor in his race in Central Florida.
And, my opponent kept hitting me that I wasn't on the Trump team. Well, if you watched our incoming numbers, you would see that we had people from a lot of walks of life.
And then in the race to replace Byron Donalds, who is running for governor in Florida, you had a real cast of characters, 10 Republicans, including 2 former Republican congressmen who left Washington in disgrace, Madison Cawthorn of North Carolina, Chris Collins, who was convicted of insider trading from New York. They were both on the ticket. President Trump endorsed Catalina Lauf, who formerly ran for Congress in Illinois. She was one of 3 people on the ticket who had run for Congress in another state, and there was also a convicted and pardoned January 6th rioter in that race as well, John Strand. So Lauf lost there. So when you look at those 3 races, Wyoming and the 2 races in Florida, President Trump's endorsed candidates did not pass the test there for Republican primary voters, either because of their own scandal or they were facing people with deeper ties and relationships to voters in their districts.
Well, and that's the thing is you do remember in these, especially in these midterm congressional races, just how all politics are local, right? I guess I'm wondering then, are there issues that seem to keep springing up that have surprised you, like that you might not have expected a year or 2 ago, that are hitting these local races in a way you might not have expected?
The economy is still the big issue, right? We've seen that really as a consistent through line since 2024. But one thing that has started percolating is the expansion of data centers across the country, really the foundation of the infrastructure of the artificial intelligence boom.
Something like this can be very detrimental to the community around it.
Carroll County is saying heck no to a data center, am I right? Yeah!
We do not want a data center in this county.
There's been a lot of backlash in particularly rural parts of different states, including places like Florida, to the development of these centers, concerns that they are responsible for rising electricity bills and water bills for people, that they have created noise pollution, as they've been built out, that they're too close to some communities. Again, this varies from state to state, from community to community, and some of these developments and AI companies are now committing to helping to offset the costs of powering these data centers, but there has been some backlash to them.
He's been called the face of data centers in Ohio.
I think one place we're seeing that percolate is in Ohio. We saw Republicans in Ohio, frankly, issue a warning there saying that the party could be in danger of losing a Senate seat in that state, and that is because the Republican Senate candidate, the former lieutenant governor of Ohio, has been associated with data centers, with some of the deals given to developers to build these data centers when he was serving as lieutenant governor. Sherrod Brown, who is looking to make a comeback, the former Democratic senator who lost the other seat in Ohio in 2024, he's been relentlessly attacking over this. And we've also seen this emerging in places like Wisconsin and Texas.
Wait, so Republicans are saying we're getting blown up on this issue? Is there a reason? Are server farms by nature like Republican or Democrat?
This doesn't really cut cleanly across party lines here. We've seen some Democrats express concern about these things. Other Democrats, including those who are governors of big states, they see the need to bring economic development, to bring new technology to their states. These create jobs, these create opportunities down the line and investments along with tax revenue. And then we've also seen the president and his administration are very concerned and focused on making sure that the United States really outpaces China in the development of AI. And so critical to that are these data centers.
We want to have a regulation where they can continue to lead, not regulation that's going to stifle.
So the president has really been walking this fine line in his administration to encourage development of these kinds of facilities, but at the same time, partially identifying the political liability here. His administration is now encouraging these developers, these big companies, to commit to paying the cost of their own power in a way that really keeps the burden off consumers, because, again, it comes back to prices and the economy and utility bills. That is the major through line we're seeing in this election.
Right. It's interesting because economists have made the argument that the stock market has not been doing great this year, except for data centers and AI. Like, those booms have actually propped up a big part of the stock market, et cetera. So when President Trump's talking about like a booming stock market, he's got those things to thank. And yet really doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican. You don't want these things at least right in your backyard, perhaps. And so a lot of these complaints sound very familiar, whatever jurisdiction you're in. Ben Siegel, really interesting. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
Are you ever doing some online shopping? You see an item on sale that feels like it was made just for you. This is me whenever I'm looking at a floral print short sleeve shirt. I'm like, $29? They might as well be paying me to own this. It was meant to be. Well, more and more often, the price you find online might actually just be for you. Yesterday, the Federal Trade Commission put out a statement saying they're increasingly concerned that all the data companies are collecting about us is resulting in something called personalized pricing. For instance, if a retailer knows roughly how much you make or how much you usually spend on clothes in a month, or say they know you paid $30 last week for a shirt, well, they might have no problem bumping up a $25 price tag to $29. Meanwhile, someone else might be seeing that same shirt for $25 or $35 or whatever. And forget about clothes for a second. Could an online grocer upcharge you for milk if they know you've got several kids in your home? Could a rideshare app deduce whether you've already installed their competitor's app, and if not, maybe charge you a few extra bucks? You never know the difference, would you? The feds are warning retailers against doing this, saying it likely violates Section 5 of the FTC Act, which regulates unfair pricing. Their rationale is, yes, companies are allowed to charge whatever they want for something. In some instances, a salesperson can even look a customer up and down and offer one price to one person and not the other. Think of a fine art gallery, or maybe the guy selling Christmas trees near my house. He knows a fish when he sees one. But when you walk into a store with price tags on everything, customers assume, rightfully, that everyone's seeing the same price tags. That is no longer necessarily the case in e-commerce. So, where's the line? The FTC says the biggest issue is transparency, customers who don't even know they're being played. And while the government can't ban this practice outright, officials say these are the cases they plan to monitor most aggressively. So what should you do in the meantime? Well, experts say it might be time to invest in a VPN, a virtual private network, which hides where you're connecting to the internet from. Because when an air carrier thinks you're a customer in Botswana, they magically seem to offer you a cheaper price than if you were in San Francisco. Second tip, clear your cache online. The less your cookies say about where you've been shopping lately, the better. And third, maybe use paper money when shopping in person. Credit card companies are not just making money from your fees, they also sell information to a widening audience of companies. And now there are plenty of bots out there waiting to deduce just how much you are willing, personally, to shell out.
That's ABC's Brad Milkey. It's 5:14. It's going to be another sunny day. Got to get through some clouds this morning and a little bit warmer than anticipated. Now we're looking for a high of 85 for today. Tomorrow, some high clouds will roll in to 80, and then the weekend could be kind of active, especially Saturday. Cloudy in the morning, showers for the day, possibility of some thunderstorms too, and cooling off to about 71. Few showers in the forecast for Sunday as well, but drying out again on Monday. Right now in Seattle, it is cloudy and 62. Coming up, could a vaccine one day help stop cancer from coming back? New research from Merck and Moderna suggests an experimental mRNA treatment may reduce the recurrence of melanoma. We'll get the details on part 2 of Start Here with ABC's Brad Milkey next on Seattle's Morning News.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Summer is for letting it rip.
Swung on and missed, ripped it right by it. 7 scoreless innings. Marvelous Miller again.
Summer is for showing out.
Swing and a miss. Woo, 6 up and 6 down.
Summer is for Mariners baseball.
Logan Gilbert, he's knocked down a dozen in a row.
So call your favorite Walter and head to T-Mobile Park because our pitchers are rolling. From George Kirby to Senor Smoke.
Up in the attic at 101. Nothing but the express tonight for Andres Munoz.
Matilda would be proud. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
The Mariners are back in town starting tomorrow. Don't miss out on 2 great interleague series at T-Mobile Park as Julio and the crew square off against the Chicago Cubs tomorrow through Sunday and the Philadelphia Phillies Monday through Wednesday. Get your tickets for these two marquee matchups today at Mariners.com.
If you are over 62 and have been putting off a reverse mortgage, this may be the right time to take a closer look. Hi, I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage. After nearly 20 years on the air, I'm retiring from radio advertising after September. I'm still helping clients, and if you want to work directly with me, now is the time to call. 425-649-6000. Our reverse mortgage could help eliminate your mortgage payments, pay off debts, and give you more breathing room every month. It's not right for everyone, but for the right person, it can be a very smart financial tool. When you call Best Mortgage for a free consultation, you speak directly with me. I'll explain your options, answer your questions, and tell you honestly whether it makes sense for your situation. If you've been thinking about a reverse mortgage, don't keep putting it off. Call me today at 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. Honest advice you can trust. 425-649-6000.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20-plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
The last few years have been a roller coaster for anyone working on mRNA vaccines. Remember, these COVID vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna were really the first time many Americans had heard of this technology. And just to step back and remind ourselves what these are, the job of any vaccine is to teach your body to fight off foreign invaders, right? Like a virus. But many vaccines do that by injecting you with a harmless bit of the virus itself, triggering an immune response in your cells. Well, what these vaccines do is instead of delivering a piece of dead or weakened virus, they use messenger RNA, mRNA, to give our cells a kind of blueprint to creating the proteins that can help keep us safe. But like I said, it's been a roller coaster ride. These things have been criticized by healthcare skeptics.
HHS has determined that mRNA technology poses more risks and benefits for these respiratory viruses.
HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has said the process wasn't tested enough despite the largest successful vaccine rollout in human history taking place, by the way, under his boss, President Trump. Well, now mRNA vaccines are getting some exciting press once again. Earlier this month, the FDA approved an mRNA flu vaccine, and yesterday, the drug makers Merck and Moderna announced a successful trial of a new vaccine that helped guard cancer survivors against repeat cases. So the question now is, not just are we on the verge of new mRNA vaccines, but could they be giving us vaccines for cancer? Let's go to Dr. Michael Posto. He's the chief of the melanoma service at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. He's one of the doctors that was part of this clinical trial. Dr. Posto, first off, this was for melanoma, right? Very deadly skin cancer. What is this drug and how does it work?
Thank you for your interest in this story. We're thrilled with the results of this phase 3 study that have been reported on top-line information so far. This drug is something called intismeran, and it's a personalized cancer therapeutic vaccination strategy where a patient's tumor is used as a blueprint to make their own individual vaccine. And the idea is that if we can just steer the immune response directly to the tumor cells that are abnormal, then in theory, that would be the exact type of response we want to eliminate the residual tumors that might be within a patient that we can't see. And what that actually means for patients in this trial, these patients had high-risk melanoma. It was surgically removed, and the vaccine in combination with another drug called Keytruda was shown to reduce the risk of these patients having recurrent melanoma in the future compared to Keytruda alone. This is a huge advance for us.
Well, and so Keytruda, I've heard of Keytruda before in that it was described as like a game changer in terms of managing melanoma. This seems like what, you add a vaccine to the mix and you can really keep the melanoma from coming back? That seems like a huge deal.
It's a huge deal. Keytruda by itself has already been shown to reduce the risk of melanoma coming back after surgery. Now we have an additional therapy on top of Keytruda that has shown to further reduce the risk of melanomas coming back after surgery for high-risk melanoma. So this is an additional benefit on top of the benefit Keytruda already afforded in this particular space.
How important is it that this was an mRNA vaccine? Like, could you have done this with a different vaccine, or was this technology the only way you could make something like this?
It's an open question. How critical is the mRNA construct specifically in this approach? This is very different than other types of mRNA vaccinations like the COVID vaccines, as we had spoken about. Those are off-the-shelf vaccines where the same kind of vaccine is given to everybody. In this particular approach, each individual patient has their own construct made for themselves. So it's the ultimate personalized type of a strategy. And we believe that mRNA vaccines are particularly immunogenic as well, that create these favorable immune responses against cancer in this particular context. So we think that this is really going to be an important type of platform for not only our patients with melanoma, but ideally patients with other types of cancers as well.
That's interesting, the mRNA of it all, because I remember, like, as they were rolling out the COVID vaccines, yes, they were the same for everyone, but that's because, like, you just had to go in really big batches. The exciting thing that doctors were saying was, like, you can customize these bad boys as much as you want, because, like, the mRNA technology makes it so you can make really quick batches. The FDA might not approve them quickly, but, like, you can do lots of these per year if you wanted. Is that the difference here, that, like, you can make these very unique for each patient?
That's right. Yeah, there are a lot of issues in terms of kind of how do we manufacture this quickly, how do we scale this quickly, and the advances in mRNA technology in general are a way to help facilitate all of that.
Wait, so doctor, I mean, are we talking about like cancer vaccines? Is that, it sounds crazy for me to say that, but at least therapy-wise, in terms of a vaccine that could keep a type of cancer in check, could we see this elsewhere?
I think the most important issue with this type of an approach is this is not a melanoma-only treatment. This is a treatment for building the body's immune response against the patient's own certain type of tumor that they have. So this could be used and is being tested in clinical trials for patients with all different kinds of cancers. And the hope is in the future that if you have surgical resection of a high-risk tumor, like lung cancer, bladder cancer, or other types of tumors, in theory, this approach might even be effective for you. It hasn't yet been proven that way, and it needs to be tested. But that's where I think we hope the whole field of cancer care is going based upon this result in melanoma.
Yeah, what is next here? Because the FDA has not signed off on this, right? This is purely experimental at this point. So what's next?
The next steps, I think, from a regulatory perspective, I'm sure the study sponsors are putting together data that will be submitted to regulatory agencies for hopeful ultimate approval based upon these data, but that all needs to be reviewed. And then as the melanoma field, we need to also see the real data itself. We have top-line data. We have the study's summary snapshot that this was a positive trial, meaning favorable for reducing recurrences. But we need to see how positive was it? What were the side effects? What were the details of the different data endpoints? And that we look forward to seeing in the near future.
Right, and as you sort through the recurrence numbers, it's still not clear whether people actually live longer as a result, but really interesting here. Dr. Michael Postow from Memorial Sloan Kettering, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for your interest in this.
That was ABC's Brad Milkey. Our forecast, clouds again this morning, same pattern, sunshine for the afternoon, a little bit warmer today, 85 the expected high. For tomorrow, mix of clouds and sun and 80, and then big change on Saturday. We may even see some thunderstorms Saturday, along with showers and mostly cloudy skies, 71 Saturday. A few showers lingering on Sunday, and 74, but drying out on Monday. Right now in Seattle, it is cloudy and 62. Coming up, a Washington Caregivers Union is asking for a raise. Charlie Harger says the bigger story is just how much power that same union already has in Olympia. His commentary is coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, to get 30, to get 20, 20, 20, to get 20, 20, to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Sometimes injuries can happen when you least expect them.
What broke my shoulder was reaching for my phone. I was trying to get the phone away from my cat.
That's how Heather tore her rotator cuff.
There was that hope. I was like, maybe this will heal on its own. And I waited a little bit, and it was not getting better.
She just couldn't take the pain anymore, so she saw Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
By the next day, my shoulder was already doing better. I have my arm back again, which was just wonderful.
Seems like she made the right choice.
I'm so glad I didn't do surgery.
So whether it's a hip like mine or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. He's the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
I said to him at our last appointment, I was like, you better not retire because I want to know if anything else goes wrong with my body. You're there to be able to fix it because he's a miracle worker.
At Carrier, we know that a comfortable home is a happy one. Whether it's with innovative breakthroughs in heating and cooling efficiency, or with different ways to control your home's temperature and air quality, we're always imagining new ways to make your home totally comfortable.
Turn to the experts and let your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer improve your home's comfort and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find an expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts. Jazz Alley invites you to experience the legendary Take 6, the most awarded a cappella group in history, with 10 Grammys. Shows run August 20th through the 23rd. Tickets at jazzalley.com. Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week, with new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions. D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
When the heat's an 11, cool AC would be heaven.
DayandNight.net.
Stay cool this summer with a new AC or heat pump from Day and Night. And with installation, you'll get a free furnace.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Call us about installing a high-efficiency cooling system or servicing your existing one so you're cool when you need it.
Get a new AC or heat pump now from Day and Night to stay cool this summer. Plus, with installation, you'll get a free furnace.
DayandNight.net.
Summertime means sunshine, baseball games, beach trips, hiking, and more. So don't let your bank stop you from having fun. Free checking at WaFd Bank is the way to go. There are no minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. Plus, you'll get spending tools and the latest technology to help you stay on budget. Not only is WaFd Bank rated a best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states, so you have access wherever you are. Visit wafdbank.com to open your account. Additional fees may apply. Member FDIC.
Golden Crest Metals helps investors understand how physical gold and silver can be held inside qualified retirement accounts without pressure or confusion. Our team brings decades of experience in precious metals and retirement planning with a focus on clear education, straightforward pricing, and a process designed to put clients first. Why do investors choose Golden Crest Metals? Experience, transparency, and a client-first approach. Tune into The Gold Show with Kenny Michaels every Saturday at 1 p.m.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Spike O'Neill here for Ageless Living. Recently, my aunt had surgery and she was home the next day.
but we weren't sure if we were ready or equipped to give the kind of care that she needed, so we called Aegis Living and asked about respite care. A short-term stay that provides 24/7 expert care, Aegis Living amenities, and peace of mind for you and your family. Go to aegisliving.com/spike and schedule a visit. It can be a much-needed break for a caregiver and a chance for you and your family to get a look and a taste of what Aegis Living offers. That's aegisliving.com/spike.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:31. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is brushing off a recall effort aimed at removing her from office. The mayor was asked about the petition yesterday during a press conference on a housing initiative.
So that is a legal process that will be playing out. I'm focused on leading the city and on making it an affordable place for people to live, and that's the work that we're here to discuss today.
Two Seattle residents filed the recall petition August 11th, accusing Wilson of ignoring public safety concerns and being derelict in her duties. A King County Superior Court judge has been assigned to the case and will hold a hearing August 31st. This comes as a new poll shows plummeting approval for the Seattle mayor. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon.
Her favorable rating has plummeted 20% since April. Fulcrum Strategy Group conducted the poll and interviewed 500 Seattle voters last week. And it shows 37% of people approve of her performance, voting favorable, while 62% of voters have an unfavorable view of the mayor. Breaking that down, 42% felt strongly unfavorable about the mayor, while 20% felt somewhat unfavorable.
The poll was commissioned by the Seattle Metro Chamber of Commerce. 3 firefighters and a civilian were hurt in Bellevue at an office building fire yesterday. The Seattle Times reports the roof of the building near Northeast 8th Street and 148th Avenue Northeast collapsed. The firefighters had to go to the hospital with injuries including heat exposure, a cut from broken glass, and a back injury. The civilian whose hand was burned did not go to the hospital. No word yet how that fire started. We're getting a sobering look at the first hours of the fires that ravaged Spokane over the last month. Police have released body-worn cameras showing officers rushing in to help crews along the Spokane River August 1st.
How you doing that? Could you try to go get a rake or something from a groundskeeper so we can try to put this out?
And then sprinting door to door through smoke-filled neighborhoods to evacuate homes.
Spokane Police Department!
Putting ribbons on doorknobs to show the homes that had been cleared. More than 800 homes and other buildings were lost in 3 fires. Tens of thousands of acres have burned. The recovery has only just begun. And one of the best football players to come out of Seattle is hanging it up. Miles Gaskin announced his retirement from the NFL yesterday on social media. The Seattle Times reports the Linwood native starred at O'Day High School before becoming Washington's all-time leading rusher. Time for a check on traffic once again, and for that, we turn it over to Chris Sullivan.
And we're doing really well at this early hour, Amanda. Not a lot of slowing here out there. We do have a little braking on northbound 167 approaching 405, but overall about a 35 to 38-minute trip to get you up the valley. And then Renton to Bellevue is only 15. Not much action. Olympia to Tacoma and Federal Way to Seattle is running about 35 minutes. A little westbound slowing across the trestle. We see that this time of day as people are working to get to the I-5 side of things. And then once you do, you're going to have a pretty easy drive to Seattle or Bellevue. We've got 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Our forecast: clouds this morning, sunshine for the afternoon. A little bit warmer today, 85. A mix of clouds and sun for your Friday tomorrow, and 80. And then Saturday, there's an alert in effect because we might see some thunderstorms. Otherwise, showers and clouds, maybe a peak of sunshine here and there, and 71. Some showers on Sunday as well. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy, and 62.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News. Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's morning news.
It's 5:35. So who's really calling the shots in Olympia? Charlie Harger says it may not be the state's best-known political donors, but a caregivers union with a seat at the table, a major political war chest, and a role in setting the very pay rates its members receive.
Right now, somewhere in Washington state, a home care worker is getting an elderly or disabled person out of bed, helping them with a shower, making breakfast. Kind of work most of us hope somebody kind and competent would do and will be there for us when us or our parents need it. These workers, they make about $22 to $25 an hour. These are hard jobs. The state has trouble keeping enough people in them. About 80,000 workers depend on this rate. This is a story about that paycheck. One union helps set the wage, collects dues from it, and spends more on Washington politics than anybody else in this state. Then it helps set the wage again. Today, we follow the money around the circle. Their union, SEIU 775, came to the table asking for a 12% raise over 2 years. The state came back offering a freeze. Whether that rate should go up or not is a fair fight, and the state is staring down a budget shortfall. It's having that fight. Well, I looked at who's sitting at the table deciding those raises. Washington sets home care pay through a 4-person board. The governor's office gets a seat. The Department of Social and Health Services gets a seat. The company that employs the caregivers gets a seat. And the workers' bargaining representative gets a seat. And that is SEIU 775. The union asking for the raise gets a vote on the raise. Picture a seat on the committee that sets your pay. You'd take it. I'd take it. SEIU has it. Now, you've heard Brian Haywood and his Let's Go Washington initiative campaigns. A lot of people think he's the biggest political spender in the state. He's not even close. In 2024, SEIU 775 and its branches laid out close to $18 million on campaigns. The Washington State Standard called them by far the largest donor of the cycle. In 1 week, the union dropped $4 million into a single ballot fight that year. They outspent Haywood. They outspent everybody. Dues run 3.2% of a home care worker's pay. So you collect that from tens of thousands of caregivers month after month, and you can fund the loudest voice in Olympia, one that backs candidates heavily toward Democrats with a few Republicans. Well, the union is open about that loop. After the 2022 rate passed, it reminded members that lawmakers still had to fund it and that they should elect legislators who back caregivers. Win the rate, elect the people who pay for it. Round and round we go. There's more. In 2019, SEIU was one of the forces behind WA Cares, the state's long-term care program funded by a payroll tax of 58 cents on every $100 you earn. The benefit went live earlier this year. People can spend it on care, including paying a caregiver. The union also runs a state-required training those caregivers have to take, paid out at the same rate. So the union helped pass a tax that grows a publicly funded market for the work its members do. Plenty of groups play this game. Businesses do it. Trial lawyers do it. Teachers unions do it. SEIU 775 is just better at it than anyone else in the state. None of this is a scandal. Every piece of it is legal, disclosed, and done in the open. But stand back and look at the whole thing. One organization sits on nearly every side of it. The vote that sets the rate, the contract that divides it, the dues that come off the paycheck, the biggest political budget in Olympia, and the tax that feeds still more public money into the same work. Caregivers deserve a fair wage. The union has every right to fight for one. And the rest of us footing the bill are at least allowed to notice how neatly it all connects. Public money funds the paycheck. The caregiver earns it. Some become dues. The union spends it on Olympia, and Olympia sets the rate all over again. It's a long trip for a paycheck.
You can find all of Charlie's commentaries at mynorthwest.com. Coming up, your political insights from ABC's Dave Packer. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Hey, I know something you probably haven't done in a while. Climb into your crawl space or your attic. Yeah, me neither. Mike's all here. And most homeowners avoid those areas for good reason. But it's important to check on them regularly, especially here in the Northwest, where groundwater can wreak havoc and many homes lack the proper insulation in these spaces. So when it's hot in the summer, your house gets even hotter. And guess what? When it's cold in the winter, your house gets even colder because you don't have enough insulation. The good news, you don't have to crawl into those dingy areas because Crawl Pros will do it. They go where you don't want to. That's what they did at my house. They found a little rodent intrusion and they found the insulation problem. So yeah, they can help you get it all fixed just like they did with me. And if you need any work done, local utility companies offer rebates that could save you thousands on your project. Don't just assume that your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today. Schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
I started Davis Law Group in 1994 to fight for the underdog. And as our team has grown, we've stayed true to that mission. Today, Davis Law Group is known for providing excellent service and even better results. Visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com to get your free book on car accident law.
Summer is for sunshine.
It's a beautiful day out for baseball here at T-Mobile Park.
Summer is for moonshots.
He just absolutely obliterates this! Multi-homer game, Cole Young!
Summer is for Mariners baseball.
Emerson is racing over, slides up! He makes the catch! Incredible!
So listen for the cheers and follow your ears to T-Mobile Park. Because where else can you travel to on a ferry boat and then eat crab nachos out of a ferry boat?
How sweet it is!
It is the sweetest, Rick. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Don't miss out on fireworks night this summer at T-Mobile Park. The Mariners are kicking off Players Weekend with the next show tomorrow night against the Cubs, featuring a playlist curated by your favorite guys on the team. Go to mariners.com/fireworks to get your tickets and check out the complete lineup presented by T-Mobile.
Holy smokes!
The On Cruise Adventures Rick Riz Show.
What happened at the ballpark yesterday?
Sparky's sitting on my scorebook here, my cat is.
Friday mornings at 8:15 on Seattle's Morning News.
These are your political insights from ABC News. On the same day we learned the national debt reached a staggering $40 trillion, President Trump spent the better part of an hour showing off his White House renovations to reporters.
I love construction. I love seeing things properly taken care of. As you know, we've redone the colonnade, going to the Oval Office. We put the black granite down, and now we're out here. So for 50 years, more than that, they've wanted to have a heliport, but nobody knew how to go about it. And we are building a great heliport.
Ballroom construction well underway. The Washington Post pegging that cost at $900 million. Unclear how much of that is coming from taxpayers. Max Lederer, the longtime publisher of Stars and Stripes, is stepping down, citing how the Pentagon under the Trump administration is trying to expand oversight over the military newspaper's operations. The Pentagon has also mandated the publication move to an all-digital format. Dave Packer, ABC News.
It's time to move on from your dull kitchen, outdated bath, and old cabinets. Create a space that is fresh, more functional, and beautiful. Sound Kitchen and Bath creates stunning kitchens and baths to meet your budget. Why wait? We customize every kitchen and bath with incredible quality and style. We come to your home and make it easy for you. Sound Kitchen and Bath, soundkitchenandbath.com.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
For nearly 20 years, I've talked with local homeowners on the radio about mortgages and making smart financial decisions. Hi, I'm Steve Tytler, owner of Best Mortgage, and after September, I'm retiring from radio advertising. So if you're over 62 and you've been thinking about a reverse mortgage, now's a good time to call to work directly with me. 425-649-6000. A reverse mortgage may help eliminate your mortgage payment, pay off debts, and create more room in your monthly budget. It's not right for everyone, and that's why honest advice really matters. When you call Best Mortgage for a free consultation, I will personally explain how it works, review your options, and tell you plainly whether it makes sense for you. No pressure, just straight answers from someone who's been helping Northwest families for decades. Fall is coming, and if a reverse mortgage has been on your mind, let's talk soon. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. Honest advice you can trust. 425-649-6000.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
Are judges becoming America's most important policymakers? That's one of the questions we'll put to former Washington AG Rob McKenna this morning.
Why don't we do that right now? He joins us live. Good morning.
Good morning.
Rob, we wanted to start with the story of the Trump Kennedy Center, now back to being the Kennedy Center, but the Trump administration is apparently not happy with the court's ruling there. Can you just kind of break this down for us?
Well, this is another example of, Trump trying to exert executive authority, in this case, over the Kennedy Center. It's, naming it, putting his name on it, and courts stepping in when someone files a lawsuit saying, no, you don't have the authority to do that. So we have another example of a fight between the judiciary and the executive branch in a world where both branches are, a lot more powerful, at least in many instances, than they were earlier in our own lifetimes. And that's because I think the legislative branch, which is supposed to be the most important branch of our government, it's why Congress is created in Article 1 of the Constitution. That branch has conceded a lot of power to the courts and to the executive, and I think that's a problem, considering that Congress was created in Article 1 because it's the closest branch of government to the people, served by elected officials who in the House have to stand for election every 2 years, as opposed to federal judges who are appointed for a lifetime, or presidents who serve for 4 or 8 years.
Has there always been a tug of war like this, or is what we're witnessing now unusual?
Well, from the earliest days of our nation, there was a struggle over how much power the executive branch should have relative to the legislative branch. I mean, this was the big fight between the Jeffersonians and the Federalists, for example. If you've seen Hamilton, you saw a musical about someone who really believed in a strong executive, and Jefferson and his allies were including James Madison, were very strongly opposed to that. But, over the first century and a half of our country's history, it was the legislative branch which really dominated, except during periods of war when, President Lincoln, for example, had obviously extraordinary authority. But after or during the Great Depression, we saw a massive expansion of federal executive power. And then in more recent decades, we've seen a series of presidents, Republicans and Democrats, steadily expand their authority, particularly when Congress hasn't taken action. And where the courts fit into all of that is that, Congress will pass broadly worded laws and leave it to the agencies, the executive branch, to implement regulations, which is why we have this huge administrative state now, and then leave the courts to figure out whether or not those regulations are appropriate or not. But all of this is to say that we've had, in our history, we have had struggles between the executive and legislative branch, and the judiciary was not nearly as powerful, obviously, in the early days of our country. In fact, until Marbury v. Madison in the early 1800s, it wasn't even clear that the Supreme Court could strike down federal statutes. That was a power that the Supreme Court found that it had, but was not explicitly given to it in the Constitution.
So if we have an executive branch that wants to exert its power and seem powerful, What if the executive, in this case being the White House, sees a court ruling it doesn't like and says, well, who's going to enforce it?
Well, they're not saying that now. The Trump administration, in reacting to 3 recent Supreme Court rulings on, the Federal Reserve governor he tried to fire, on tariffs, they're saying we are complying with the court. We are within its, the bounds. We respect the court's decisions. Another example is the birthright citizenship case, probably the most important case of the year, decided by the Supreme Court. That opinion affirmed that nearly everyone born in the United States is a citizen. People who are the children of diplomats serving at the United Nations or at an embassy would not be. But Trump has issued executive orders saying, well, there are other children who are ineligible for birthright citizenship if they're born to, quote, alien enemies, to foreign terrorists, foreign lobbyists, or people who fraudulently request tourist visas. The Supreme Court's opinion doesn't say that those people aren't eligible for birthright citizenship. But the administration is pushing the boundaries. And I think what this will result in is, in more court cases, they'll have to find someone who was born the child of a foreign lobbyist, for example, to bring the case to see whether or not they are, in fact, entitled to birthright citizenship. So the Trump administration is more aggressive. He's by no means the first president to push back on Supreme Court decisions. Remember that when the Supreme Court struck down Joe Biden's plan to forgive student loan debt, he announced a new plan within hours of that decision to forgive debt. But Trump is doing it more and evidently more aggressively, and that's partly because his actions have been challenged in the Supreme Court and struck down more than even in his own first term.
Rob McKenna, former state AG, joins us every week on Seattle's Morning News. Hey, Rob, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you, guys.
It's now 5:52 on your Thursday morning. Hey, guess what? The Mariners eked out a win last night against the Brewers.
The pitch. Swung on and missed, a devastating splitter. Gilbert punches the glove. He gets his 5th strikeout.
Final score 7-5. Of course, just a day after a historic, dare we say embarrassing, 22-0 loss. Here's pitcher Logan Gilbert after the game.
Yeah, we needed that. It was pretty drastic yesterday and then again early on in our direction. So that was big. We needed that, needed to come out hot.
Yeah, they still have a losing record, but hey, I was positive yesterday and they got the win. They get another shot at the Brewers later today. Tacoma's Soundview Little League opened the Little League World Series with a 2-0 extra innings win over the team from Alabama yesterday in Williamsport, PA. Soundview plays the team from Texas on Friday. Well, the track is nearly ready for this weekend's IndyCar Freedom 250 Grand Prix in Washington, D.C. Drivers are going to speed past some of the most recognizable landmarks down Pennsylvania Avenue, around both the Smithsonian and National Archives. Some are excited for the big event, but others, like Karen Jerussi from Montana, call it a big waste.
I personally don't think it's a good idea. I think it's a waste of taxpayer dollars at a time when we aren't adequately funding education and health care and so many other things.
And the next time you need to give blood, a robot might be holding the needle. The Food and Drug Administration just authorized the first fully autonomous blood drawing device. It's called Aletta. The robot uses ultrasound and infrared light to safely find a vein in your arm. It automatically applies a tourniquet, cleans the skin, inserts the needle. If you move too much, the needle instantly detaches to keep you safe. Health officials say the new technology will help solve a nationwide shortage of medical workers. It's 5:54 now, and a check on our forecast. It's going to be a lovely day. A little bit warmer than planned. Clouds this morning once again, but we'll see plenty of sunshine for the afternoon. We're headed for a high today of 85. High clouds for tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds, and 80 as we wrap up the week on Friday. For the weekend, Saturday could get a little interesting. We're going to see mostly cloudy skies, maybe some sun breaks, some showers at times, but the possibility of thunderstorms too. Not good news for the fire hazards. 71 on Saturday. Things will calm down a little bit on Sunday. Just a few showers lingering. 74 the high. And then on Monday, we'll be back to beautiful weather. Back to the mid-70s with partly sunny skies. Right now in Seattle, we have partly cloudy skies. It's 62. Glad to have you with us on this Thursday. Coming up, Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson facing a recall effort, falling public safety poll numbers, and growing calls for surveillance cameras. How's she responding? KIRO News Radio's Tim Holt will have more. And at 6:15, getting a driver's license in Washington is about to get harder. Sully will explain in today's Choke Point. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio is honored to bring home one of the nation's top awards in our industry, the prestigious National Edward R. Murrow Award for breaking news coverage. One award is the result of our team's hard work every single day, and none of it would be possible without you. You trust us with important information every time you choose us. Whether you listen over the air, on the KIRO News Radio app, or you watch us on YouTube, thank you.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
At Carrier, we know that a comfortable home is a happy one. Whether it's with innovative breakthroughs in heating and cooling efficiency, or with different ways to control your home's temperature and air quality, we are always imagining new ways to make your home totally comfortable.
Turn to the experts and let your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer improve your home's comfort and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find an expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Are you looking to buy a house, but like everyone, you're priced out of the Bellevue, Kirkland, and Seattle market? Many buyers have the income, the credit, and the desire to own, but simply don't have the down payment, often at least $75,000 just for a starter home. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue, with a great opportunity for home buyers. Introducing our Legacy Opportunity Loan. Legacy Group Capital has a select group of 100 new construction, single-family, and townhomes in the top Western Washington locations. Acquire a new construction home with no down payment, allowable closing costs paid, and a competitive rate. Yes, that's no down payment and some closing costs paid by Legacy. A wise man once said, the hardest part of winning in real estate is just getting in. And now you can with our Legacy Opportunity Loan. So get in the game.
Limited properties available to qualified Washington borrowers. Learn more about this limited opportunity at LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital LLC at MLS ID 99045. Visit LegacyG.com for additional program details.
Your old water heater's starting to peter.
DayandNight.net. Day and Night has $150 off installation of any new water heater, including tankless, backed by a free lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Bruce. When your old water heater leaks or fails, the damage could be catastrophic. Whether you need an emergency replacement or you're planning ahead before it leaks, give us a call and we'll help you get into hot water again.
Get $150 off installation of any new water heater.
DayandNight.net.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
With the experience of over 150,000 procedures, the doctors at K2 Vision will know which procedure is best for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
Summertime means sunshine, baseball games, beach trips, hiking, sandwiches at the summit. So don't let your bank stop you from having fun. Free checking at WaFd Bank is the way to go. There are no minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. Plus, you'll get spending tools and the latest technology to help you stick to your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank a best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states, so you have access wherever you are. Visit WaFdBank.com to open your account. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
KIRO News Radio has your chance to win 2 tickets to see Anthony Hamilton with Tony, live under the stars at the Tulalip Amphitheater, Thursday, September 10th. Go to mynorthwest.com/win for contest rules and your chance to win.
Your best source for local news, KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The national debt has now climbed to over $40 trillion, double what it was just 10 years ago when President Trump first took office, the U.S. paying more than $1 trillion just in interest on that debt. The president looking to hit Iran economically as costs for the war help fuel the debt. Here's ABC's Rachel Scott.
President Trump once again trying to ramp up the pressure, overnight announcing the U.S. will enact the most crushing economic operation ever taken, saying it will be an economic D-Day. President Trump warning any country that allows its financial institutions, businesses, airports, or government entities that help Iran evade sanctions will face tremendous economic consequences.
A deadly midair collision at an airport just outside Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. The pilot of a small plane that collided with a police helicopter was killed. The state troopers on board the chopper survived. That line of heavy storms swamping the Midwest now headed into the Northeast. This is ABC News. The search for Karen Solomon goes on in Massachusetts. Her husband found dead in their home, says ABC's Faith Abube.
An urgent manhunt is underway near Boston for a woman police describe as a dangerous fugitive. Karen Solomon, who's a therapist and mental health advocate for law enforcement, is suspected in the death of her police officer husband. Fellow officers found Kurt Solomon dead in his home and his wife gone. Investigators have not released any details about the death just yet, but they do say Karen Solomon is considered armed and dangerous.
Solomon is actually the founder of a site to help first responders deal with mental health crises. Congo's getting 70,000 doses of a vaccine that has been effective in past Ebola outbreaks. Early lab testing shows the vaccine might protect against the current strain of the virus, which doctors have previously said was immune to vaccines and treatment and is currently the fastest Ebola outbreak in history. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 6:02, here's what's happening.
Well, the clock is ticking for Seattle Public Schools and the Teachers Union. The current contract expires August 31st, and the union says teachers will strike if there's no new deal before students return September 2nd.
3 firefighters were hospitalized yesterday after a fire tore through a Bellevue office building. The roof collapsed and nearly the entire building was damaged.
Washington's unemployment rate dipped to 5% last month, helped by a World Cup hiring boom. Restaurants serving World Cup crowds drove most of those new jobs.
We check traffic every 10 minutes and we head over to the traffic desk with Sully.
We've got a big problem down in the Olympia area for those of you going southbound on I-5. Right before the exit to the beach there to exit to 101, we have the 2 left lanes blocked for a crash. I want to thank Dave that clued me into this early on this morning. Debris strewn across the roadway, a couple of different cars involved. Again, it's southbound, so counter commute, but there's a lot going on in that general area right there at the 101 off-ramp just south of the Capitol. So plan on delays in that area. Rest of the map, Olympia to Tacoma coming this direction. We've got a 35-minute trip, so not bad. And then Federal Way to Seattle's under 40. Also under 40 from Puyallup up to Renton. A few brake lights in the north end of Auburn, a little bit in right in Kent, but other than that, not bad. And then under 20, Renton to Bellevue, coming down from the north end, a little westbound, slowing across the trestle, getting over to I-5, and then you have about a 35 to 38-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance, heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical. Home Comfort Alliance repairs first, replacing only if it makes sense. Ask them about a heat pump for year-round comfort. Get real pricing in 60 seconds. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Thanks for joining us on a Thursday morning. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson says she's staying focused on City Hall, not the effort to kick her out of it.
KIRO News Radio's Tim Hull is live with her response and what happens next.
At a housing task force event on Wednesday, reporters managed to get in 2 questions about the recall.
So that is a legal process that will be playing out. I'm focused on leading the city and on making it an affordable place for people to live, and that's the work that we're here to discuss today.
Just to follow up on that, are you planning to be at the hearing? The date has now been set. Do you plan to be there?
I personally will not be there. I will be represented by counsel.
That hearing Monday, August 31st, before a King County Superior Court judge. 2 Seattle residents filing the petition earlier this month, accusing Wilson of ignoring public safety concerns and being derelict in her duties. The judge will decide whether those allegations are legally and factually sufficient to move forward, not whether Wilson should actually be recalled. And getting a recall onto the ballot is not easy.
It's really a very high bar.
And historically, past efforts have usually been unsuccessful.
That's Seattle University law professor Krissa Delganis on KIRO 7 TV. Case in point, recall effort against then-Mayor Jenny Durkin in 2020 received initial clearance, but was later rejected by the state Supreme Court. If Wilson's recall makes it through the court, supporters would have 180 days to collect nearly 70,000 signatures to put it before voters. And a new poll this week commissioned by the Seattle Metro Chamber shows Wilson has work to do on the issue driving much of the recall effort. 66% of Seattle voters surveyed say they're not confident her administration has an effective plan to improve public safety.
Tim Hole reporting live. It's 6:05.
Seattle police are investigating a shooting that happened yesterday afternoon in southwest Seattle. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch was on the scene and has this report.
SPD says 911 calls started coming in just after 1 o'clock for shots fired near Rocks Hill Park on 29th Avenue Southwest. When officers arrived, they found a man in his 40s suffering from what they describe as multiple gunshot wounds. He was transported to Harborview Medical Center in serious condition. As for potential suspects, SPD Detective Shane Weatherford said this.
There is some suspect information that we can't share at this time, but we don't believe that there is an active threat to the public.
The Gun Violence Reduction Unit is handling the investigation. Anyone with information or pertinent home surveillance video should call Seattle Police or 911. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A fugitive with a disturbing criminal past is finally back behind bars. King 5 reports police recently arrested 20-year-old Isaiah David O'Neill Sapp during a traffic stop in Buckley. He was on the run from King County for rape, robbery, and escaping home monitoring. You may also remember him from a high-profile animal abuse case in Seattle. That's when a neighbor recorded him beating a dog in a Capitol Hill apartment back in 2024. Seattle City Council President Joy Hollingsworth went to the apartment and rescued the dog after seeing that video. Prosecutors never charged him because they lack the necessary veterinary records. He is now locked up in the King County Jail on his other felony warrants.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
It's Friday Eve, Manda.
I know. I'm so thrilled.
Thursday, August 20th. That's Manda Factor. I'm Charlie Harger. You have your Mariners Sunday jersey on.
Who was positive yesterday?
You were positive,
I was positive.
yesterday.
I'm still repping my team despite that horrible, horrible game a couple of days ago.
We shan't ever speak of it again.
No.
They won last night, and all is right with the world. So we have Mike Seibert filling in for producer David
Did
Burbank.
you just say all is right with the world?
Absolutely.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to say that, am I?
That's fine.
Maybe I'll be going on vacation next week.
Yes, I know you are.
So we have Mike Seibert filling in for David. We have Nick Freisha running the board and picking the tunes. A couple substitutions today. Jillian Raftery is out at the news desk filling in for Katrina. And, of course, Tim Hole is in for Luke Ducey this morning. By the way, I've been hearing occasionally from Luke.
I was just going to say the same thing.
He's sounding great.
He's on the mend.
Yes, so
can't wait
news.
to have him back. This hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
Coming up this hour, new drivers take note. Washington State is adding another test and making driver's ed mandatory for thousands more people. Sully will break that down in his choke point.
Also, a young Tacoma man vanished after being shot to death. His remains weren't found until a year later, and nearly 5 decades on, the case remains unsolved. James Lynch has more in this week's Cold Case Project.
It's 6:08. 4 people, including 3 firefighters, were hurt at a Bellevue office building fire yesterday.
The fire broke out around 11:20 a.m. near Northeast 8th Street and 148th Avenue Northeast. The fire on the first floor reached up to the second floor and the attic, according to the Seattle Times. The roof collapsed, and the Bellevue Fire Department says nearly all of the building had fire and water damage. 3 firefighters had to go to the hospital. Their injuries included heat exposure, a cut from broken glass, and a back injury. A civilian suffered burns on one of their hands but did not go to the hospital. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
Frank tells us the cause of the fire is still under investigation.
We are getting a sobering look at the first hours of the fires that ravaged Spokane over the last month. Police have released body-worn cameras showing officers rushing in to help crews along the Spokane River August 1st.
How you doing that? Could you try to go get a rake or something from a groundskeeper so we can try to put this out?
And then sprinting door to door through smoke-filled neighborhoods to evacuate homes.
Spokane Police Department!
Then they put ribbons on doorknobs to show the homes had been cleared. More than 800 homes and other buildings were lost in 3 fires. Tens of thousands of acres have burned, and the recovery has only just begun.
People living at a Renton apartment complex are on edge after a string of recent fires. KIRO News reports crews have responded to 11 fires near the Royal Hills apartment since June. The most recent brush fire broke out right behind the wooden buildings Monday evening. Police say a property manager spotted a young boy running away from the flames. Officers tracked down his family and are now recommending reckless burning charges against the juvenile.
14 Snohomish County mayors are demanding the sheriff's office justify a proposed 133% increase in jail booking fees. The per booking charge would jump from about $152 to more than $353 next year. Snohomish Mayor Aaron Hoffman spoke with the Jason Brandt Show on Seattle Red 770 AM.
We're used to seeing increases. I think, both as mayor and as a business owner, I can understand costs just going up over time, especially over the last 6 years. We've seen a lot of inflation drive some of these costs up. But whenever you see something, more than double, it definitely catches your eye.
Sheriff Susanna Johnson says corrections union raises outpaced the 3% escalator in the contract for years, and cities are now being billed for the gap. The current jail contract expires at the end of the year.
Tacoma Soundview Little League opened the Little League World Series with a 2-0 extra inning win over the Phoenix City, Alabama team. This was in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. According to the Seattle Times, Kaysen Workman delivered a go-ahead single in the 7th that drove in both runs. Soundview plays a Texas team tomorrow.
In case you missed it, the Mariners eked out a win last night against the Brewers.
The pitch. Swung on and missed, a devastating splitter. Gilbert punches the glove. He gets his 5th strikeout.
Final score 7-5. This, of course, just comes a day after that game we're never going to mention again.
I told you we're not mentioning it again, Manda.
Here's pitcher Logan Gilbert after the game.
Yeah, we needed that. It was pretty drastic yesterday and then again early on in our direction. So that was big. We needed that. Needed to come out hot.
Logan didn't listen to you either.
Yeah.
Now we won't mention it again.
Okay.
And they get another shot at the Brewers later today.
You know who would never mention it again?
Probably Nick Allard.
Yeah, he would just keep quiet about that Tuesday 22-0 loss.
You mean the one that tied the worst loss in Major League Baseball history?
Right, you're not going to mention it.
The one Charlie was never going to mention again and just did.
I didn't mention it, Manda. I said specifically I'm not mentioning it.
Sure you did. Pretty sure. I mean, the science says you mentioned it, so just keep that in mind.
Well, you are the
lie.
scientist here, Nick, so you must be right.
That's science right there. This morning, we have some low clouds. It's really only in a few places. Say, for example, around like Marysville, around Arlington, around Shelton, there really is not going to be much. So a little bit of patchy fog. And otherwise, it's a beautiful morning with mostly sunny conditions all over the place. And that'll be the trend all day. So just a tiny bit of fog early on and then sunshine. Highs are going to top out today in the mid to upper 80s and even lower 90s. I think today we could be around 85 in Seattle. And then tomorrow, we're going to be right around the, say, upper 70s and lower 80s. And what you'll see is just some areas of low clouds early, and then high clouds increase. And those high clouds are going to signal some changes. Changes are coming in on Saturday where you might wake up to some areas of thunderstorms, and they could be kind of all over the place. So just a chance for a few showers or thunderstorms possible. And there is a pinpoint alert day because I'm a little concerned with fire danger and the fact that a lot of people will be, camping and being outside. So that could be anywhere. That's Saturday, early Saturday, and then decreasing as the day goes on. And then on Sunday, just a few showers here and there in the low to mid 70s. Next week, we're going to be warming it up again back into the upper 70s with some sunshine. So just be careful this weekend. If you're camping, you should just have a backup plan so you're not stuck outside in any thunderstorms.
Okay, let's say you're camping, I don't know, in Chelan. How bad's the smoke going to be, Nick?
I have to specifically check that because you're going to get a little breezy ahead of time and it might push some of that out.
Okay.
And then after it starts to rain, you might get a reprieve. But I'm more concerned with the chances for thunderstorms increasing the fire danger. So that's my biggest concern this weekend.
Going to keep an eye on it. Right now in Seattle, it's already 62.
And time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. Chris Sullivan, is our biggest issue still in the Olympia area?
Yeah, that's our biggest crash. We're going to get to that in a moment because the bigger impact is just the volume that we're starting to see for our drives a little closer to Seattle, Bellevue. If you're from Federal Way to Seattle, you're going to be pretty heavy off and on up towards the South Center area. We're up over 40 minutes now from Federal Way to Seattle, up over 40 as well from Puyallup to Renton. The Renton S-curves have already gotten off to the races. We're over 20 minutes to get you to Bellevue, but by the time you're up at Sunset, you're going to be in pretty good shape. Coming down from the north end, we're definitely seeing the brake lights in Northgate and in Canyon Park. We're over 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or to Bellevue. Now to the situation in the Olympia area. This is southbound I-5 right there at just before the exit to 101. So if you're heading to the beach or to Montesano, whatever, the two left lanes are blocked there. This is a rollover. The car's on its side. A bunch of debris on the roadway, plus a bunch of liquids, fuel, whatever. We got about a mile and a half back up behind this already. Again, this is southbound counter commute, but if you're heading through Olympia, you're going to see a lot of activity in that area. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Well, it's close to back to school time already, and for many kids, that means it's time for driver's ed.
But there are some big changes coming to the requirements for new drivers and new license seekers over the next few months, and Sully is here with what we need to know.
And these are some of the biggest changes we've had in driver's ed in recent memory. So new parents or parents of kids who want to become new drivers, you really need to pay attention, because the state is not only adding a new testing section to driver's training, it is now requiring driver's ed for older applicants. Starting November 1st, any first-time driver's license applicants under the age of 25 must complete the new work zone and emergency responder training course. It's an hour-long course that is going to launch in September. The Department of Licensing's Nathan Olson says it will go over things like zipper merging, how to negotiate work zones, our move over laws, and other safety measures.
It's required for everyone getting their first license, who are 25 and under. It's free and it's online. It's mobile friendly and it's desktop friendly, so you can do it on your home computer, or you can do it on your phone if you want to.
There will be a test to take right after, and you must pass this to get your license. Right now, this is a standalone course, but it eventually will be rolled into driver's ed training. Young drivers who are moving here, say your parents move you here and you want a Washington driver's license, well, you're also going to have to take this work zone and first responders course.
If you have a valid license from another state and you want to get a license in this state, and you're between 16 and 24, you're going to have to take that course as well.
So no simple transition for young license holders from other states. That is a pretty significant change. Washington is also expanding the age requirements for taking driver's ed. And I think this is going to be the biggest issue going forward, biggest change. Right now, say if you're 18, you only need to pass the written or driving test. You don't need driver's ed. Tommy had a bunch of friends who were like, yeah, I'm not going to take that school. Then all of a sudden they were like, oh, I'll just go in and take the test. No big deal. Well, starting in January, 18-year-olds will now have to take a driver's education class as well.
Anyone who's 15, 16, 17, or 18 now and getting their first license is going to have to take a driver training course. So you can't just wait until 18 and then not take a driving training course and then, get your first license. You actually at 18 have to take a driver training course.
And Olson says that age will go up a year every year until 2030. So by 2030, anyone under 22 years old will be required to take a driver's education class.
One of the things that we found in our research was that for those who were 18 to 20 years old and had not taken driver training, that group had an 80% higher rate of involvement in accidents than those who had driver training. So the driver training courses work really well.
But they are also really expensive. Courses can run between $500 and $1,000 or more. I looked at some yesterday. And
my daughter's in right now.
Exactly. You know how expensive this is. The state is looking at ways to lower those costs for lower income applicants with some sort of voucher system. That's something they're working out between now and when this becomes law, January 1st. Olson says these changes were directed by the legislature with one goal in mind, and that's safety.
We believe it's going to improve driving, fewer accidents, fewer fatalities, more safety on the road.
State is also creating a new mandatory safe driving class for Washington drivers between the ages of 18 and 24 who have 2 moving violations on their record. starting January 1st, those drivers will need to take this course or they could lose their license. So that's a change there. You can find all the information about the changes at mynorthwest.com. The only thing that we don't have there yet is a link to the new work zone and first responder course. It's not active yet, but it will go live on September 1st, and we'll get that up there for you. I'm going to take it, see what it looks like. Again, it's free. It's online. So big changes, not only to the testing process, but now to who is required to actually take one of those driver's education classes.
My girl is going to be thrilled to learn she has to take another hour-long course.
Exactly.
She spent half her summer in driver's training.
Well, again, and this is something that's necessary.
Yeah.
I mean, we need
safety first,
work zone and first responder classes on what to deal with when you deal with that. The idea, you got to slow these kids down, because they don't necessarily make the best decisions behind the wheel.
Hear
I know
me
it's
out.
a blanket statement, but
Hear me out. I think it would be a tremendous video and feature on Seattle's Morning News if we have driver's ed instructor Sully take your daughter out on a training drive, kind of evaluate her skills as she's getting ready to get that license.
I
Do you
evaluated
think she'd be
her
willing?
skills yesterday with her permit. It's terrifying.
That'd be fantastic. What do you think?
That's actually a really good idea. I mean, all.
it would be great because, unlike you, I have no vested interest, and it comes with
you want to live.
Well, I mean, I have no baggage, so I don't know how she is or isn't going to respond. So I'd be very clinical, just like the way I coached other people's kids.
Yeah.
I think people, on the text line, they should vote on this. They should say yes, no. Should Sully take Manda's daughter out driving, and we have a full feature report on it?
I'm all in.
I'll wear a helmet.
Well, that's not different, though.
She's actually doing pretty well.
Well, good. Yeah. It's just, again, the whole goal here is to make sure everybody knows what the rules of the road are. By the way, I'm a firm proponent of people our age getting retested as well. I totally believe, and I do believe anybody who's coming here from another state to get a license, whether they have one or not, should have to take some sort of test to pass because every roads are different, and I know that's going to add a lot of cost and it's controversial, but I mean the bottom line is we have a lot of bad drivers out here and who don't pay attention to the rules, and I think a good refresher for those of us every 10 years, a little written something wouldn't be bad, just to remind us of what we're supposed to do.
It's funny. I feel like all of us at 16 probably thought, yes, I'm getting my license. I'm ready for it. And now I look at these 16-year-olds, my daughter's friends, and say, oh, wow. I'm going to be on the road with you.
And I also checked with the Department of Licensing because a lot of kids, like Tommy's age, we're a little younger. Some of us, there wasn't that rush like there was when we were kids. So it was like, I can't wait to get a license. Independence
on your birthday,
freedom, free bird. We're like, whatever. But no, DOL says it's still pretty consistent. The amount of young people going in, about to say they haven't seen huge dips here or there.
Interesting.
But so it's still something that people, young folks want to do, but boy, these courses are expensive. So again, all this info at mynorthwest.com. We're moving the field goal. We're moving the goalposts. So here a little bit for young drivers, and parents need to be aware.
Okay, real quick before we get to your traffic report, Sully, cars could soon return to Pike Place Market 4 days a week during fall and winter. Como News reports the Seattle DOT is proposing a seasonal approach to traffic. Under the plan, vehicles could drive through the historic street Monday through Thursday. They'd keep it closed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoons. Officials say moving cars during the slower fall and winter months will help support local businesses. In a recent survey, 98% of people say they support vehicle barriers at the market.
It's 6:23. Let's find out what's happening with the cars on the roads right now. Another check on traffic here, Sullivan.
And we've got one on its side and a bunch of debris on the road on southbound I-5 in the Olympia area. For those of you heading southbound, maybe trying to get to the beach this early hour, right before the 101 turnoff, there were two left lanes are blocked. We've got about a 2-mile backup behind this thing now. So as more and more people get out on the road, the backup's going to get worse. So add about 10 minutes. Again, that's southbound counter commute. Going the other direction, the normal commute from Olympia to Tacoma, no problems at all. Only 35 minutes there. Eastbound 512, a little slow down the South Hill, but nothing you can't handle. We do have a new crash to tell you about at Traffic Ave on westbound 410 in Sumner. We're backing up really quickly behind this one. This one popped up while I was doing the choke point there, so I don't have a lot of info on it yet. But you've got at least a 10 or 12 minute delay for those of you coming out of Bonnie Lake trying to get over to 167. Once you do, the Valley Freeway is a little over 40 minutes. The Renton S curves are heavy, but not overly so. About 22 minutes to get you to Bellevue. Federal Way to Seattle miles, over 40 minutes. Coming down from the north end, about 45 from Everett to Seattle, about 42 from Everett to Bellevue. Westbound across the trestles, a little slow. 204 is as well, but again, that just appears to be volume. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Warm one today. Might be hot in some spots, up to 90, let's say, in Centralia and Point South. Seattle, the forecast high is 85. High clouds tomorrow. Could have showers and thunderstorms by Saturday. 62 right now downtown.
Well, coming up, first day of school just 2 weeks away, but Seattle teachers say they are prepared to strike if a new contract is not reached. We'll get the update from KIRO News Radio's Tim Hole.
We'll also have the opening bell reports still ahead on Seattle's Morning News.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO News Radio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM, powered by MyNorthwest.com.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
When you see this in your kitchen,
The stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we are meant to live free. Free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if the natural effects of aging are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from aging. John Curley here. Longevity Medical Clinic has been treating the undesirable effects of aging for nearly 30 years. They have more clinical experience with actual patient care than any longevity practice in the country. I've been a patient for 17 years. Wow, time flies when you got a lot of energy. I don't know where I'd be today without longevity. Longevity Medical Clinic was started so people can get back to living life on their own terms, walking, working, exercising, and enjoying the moments that matter most. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. Get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
My name is Anne. I live in the Bay Area, and I'm 68 years old. I helped my mom navigate Medicare. That was a nightmare I hope never, ever to have to go through again. It was awful for her. It was awful for me, and I just knew I never wanted to go through that. I knew that there were choices and that there were balances to be made and that it could be totally impenetrable. Chapter basically does the work for you. When you're turning 65, when you're looking at going on Medicare, they will look at all the options for you, give you advice as to what's best. One plan might be better for this, one plan might be better for that. I didn't have to do that calculation. They do the research, and you don't have to pay for it. We gave a person the information, a person got back to us. You don't have to make yourself crazy.
To learn more about how you can get free personalized Medicare advice, visit chapter.com today.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com. In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You push yourself in everything you do, scanning headlines for insights, keeping an eye on the market. Robinhood puts you in control of your money, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:30. Seattle teachers in the school district are still trying to make the grade on a new contract before the clock runs out.
KIRO Newsradio's Tim Hole is here live with the latest.
Yeah, Charlie, Amanda, Katie McDermott is a Seattle school nurse and a member of the union bargaining team.
Honestly, I'm feeling quite frustrated. However, earlier today, I noticed there was a lot of my colleagues in the building who are here for training, and they offered support. And that has really fueled me, and I think fueled the rest of our team to get a really good deal for you, our members.
That message posted on the Seattle Education Association Facebook page as negotiations wrapped up for the day yesterday. Pay, workload planning time, class sizes, and staffing are among the issues on the table. The current contract expires August 31st. That's one day before school is scheduled to start. Seattle Public Schools says it wants a deal that recognizes employees' work while also dealing with what it calls the district's fiscal realities. Two sides back at the bargaining table this morning for a session scheduled to run from 9 this morning until 9 tonight.
Tim Hole reporting live at 6:32.
In court today, one of the suspects involved in a shooting and car chase involving plainclothes Seattle police officers in the Rainier Beach area last week. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin says the charges right now are not what you might expect.
Still a lot of evidence that they're trying to work through, investigators are trying to process, because all three people that are accused of being involved in this shooting, they say all had different roles in this situation, so they're going to see more charges in the coming weeks, more than likely. But that includes 26-year-old Jacob Barber. He's currently charged with identity theft. Investigators say they found a wallet in the car with Barber's picture on several different driver's licenses with different names. At his first appearance, prosecutors asked for $1 million bail, but the judge went with $150,000 instead. He remains in jail on that bail today.
Officers say they were tailing a stolen car when at least two people inside opened fire. No one was hit.
Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson brushing off a recall effort aimed at removing her from office. She was asked about a petition yesterday during a press conference on a housing initiative.
So that is a legal process that will be playing out. I'm focused on leading the city and on making it an affordable place for people to live, and that's the work that we're here to discuss today.
Two Seattle residents filed the recall petition earlier this month, calling her derelict in her duties. King County judge has been assigned to the case and will hold a hearing on August 31st.
And Lakewood's police chief is on administrative leave. The News Tribune reports the city quietly placed Chief Patrick Smith on leave last week. This comes about 8 months after the unions representing the city's police officers, sergeants, and captains all voted no confidence in his leadership. They accuse Smith of communication problems and being disengaged.
6:33 now. If you could only hear sometimes Sully behind the scenes when he goes, the conduit, speaking in the third person, the conduit don't take no time off. Direct quote.
Well, it's when you ask silly questions when the mic's off. Way to bury the lead. By the way, before I get to traffic, and I know we're joking right now, but again, This is something that happened early this morning. We didn't tell you it had already cleared by the time our show started, but a lot of people had been asking what was going on I-5 this morning, northbound going past Highway 18. That exit was closed for several hours. Pretty nasty crash, potential DUI, and just got an update from the State Patrol. Dude was going 93 miles an hour on northbound I-5. Fled from the troopers and then lost it getting off and drove into the field. The car burst into flames.
Oh, my goodness.
Both the driver and the passenger in this car not wearing seatbelts. Dude had an interlock device that he somehow got around in this car as well. So this person is facing significant charges and a DUI early morning. Again, if anybody was wondering, we're going to write this up for my Northwest. Again, it's just wanted to share in case we finally got a resolution to that. To our one crash on the board, two crashes on the board right now. Southbound I-5 in Olympia, right by the exit 104, just before the exit to the beach there at 104. We still have this car flipped over on its left side. 2 left lanes blocked, about a 15-minute delay behind it. Going the other direction, the primary commute, only 40 minutes to Tacoma. Other crash we've been working on is westbound 410 at Traffic Ave in Sumner. It has cleared. Right lane has reopened, but we're backed up from the Winco out of Bonnie Lake down past Valley Ave, so about a 10-minute delay there. Rest of the map, about normal. We got 45 minutes up the Valley Freeway. Renton to Bellevue's about 25. Federal Way to Seattle's running around 45. 45 to 50 now from Everett to Seattle. 45 from Everett to Bellevue. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app and stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
Our forecast a little warmer than we thought it might be. Clouds this morning, sunshine for the afternoon. In Seattle, we're looking for a high of 85 today. Tomorrow, mix of clouds and sun, and 80. For Saturday, could get a little spicy. Showers, maybe some thunderstorms, says 71. Lingering showers on Sunday, but we'll dry out on Monday, back to partly sunny and mid-70s. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 62.
From ABC News, Wall Street now. The Big Three stock averages broke a 3-day losing streak Wednesday, with the Dow picking up 120 points to finish at 53,463. The S&P and NASDAQ composite each rose about 0.2%. Moderna shares more than doubled Wednesday after the drug company announced initial data for a personalized cancer vaccine meant to keep melanoma cells at bay. Medical experts say the drug may hold promise for treating other cancers. The Federal Trade Commission is taking public comment on surveillance pricing. That's when businesses use personal data to shift prices to what they believe a consumer can afford. The FTC acknowledges, though, that it may have no power to ban surveillance pricing. BuzzBalls, the ready-to-drink cocktail brand, is tapping into consumers' sense of nostalgia. It's forged a new partnership with the company behind Pop-Tarts. Frosted S'mores and Frosted Brown Sugar Cinnamon BuzzBalls are 15% alcohol. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
A new high for the national debt, as we hear from ABC's Faith Abube.
The national debt hitting a staggering milestone, topping $40 trillion for the first time. A big portion of the spending is coming from rising defense costs, including the war in Iran, in addition to safety net programs like Social Security and Medicare. Interest on the deficit and President Trump's tax cuts. The exploding debt is already hitting Americans with higher borrowing costs and raising the cost of living.
The World Cup hiring boom helped push Washington's unemployment rate down last month from 5.2 to 5.0%.
This is noteworthy because this is the first time we've seen the unemployment rate drop since 2024.
Annalise Vance Sherman with the Washington Employment Security Department says leisure and hospitality alone gained nearly 11,000 jobs over 3 months, most of them in restaurants serving World Cup crowds.
Negotiations continue on a formal trade deal after President Trump paused new 50% tariffs on Canada late Tuesday. In a social media post, Trump said he paused the duties for 3 days to allow agreement to come together. News Nation's Hannah Brandt has more.
President Trump says there will be zero tariffs for American farmers. And there's also this new White House proclamation that outlines some additional details. That proclamation says that Canadian leaders made commitments to remove what the White House is referring to as discriminatory measures on U.S. alcohol, dairy, and motor vehicle exports. Now, Canada has not publicly confirmed the changes that were outlined in this White House proclamation. Prime Minister Mark Carney did say, though, his country has agreed to that 3-day pause on tariffs.
The suspended tariffs would have affected roughly $20 billion in Canadian imports, including hockey sticks, certain building materials, liquors, and some clothes.
Next time you need a blood draw, a robot may be holding the needle. The Food and Drug Administration just authorized the first fully autonomous blood drawing device. It's called the Aletta. The robot uses ultrasound and infrared light to safely find a vein in your arm, automatically applies a tourniquet, cleans the skin, inserts the needle. If you move too much, the needle instantly detaches to keep you safe. Health officials say the new technology will help solve a nationwide shortage of medical workers.
I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that.
Oh, I think the look on your face kind of tells me how you feel about that.
What was it called again?
Aletta.
No, the official then, like, they called it what kind of device is it?
It's like a phlebotomist.
Okay,
it's
so I was thinking, why did they call it the phlebotomizer? I mean, if you're going to give it a name, give it a name. Phlebotomizer. I am here for your blood.
All right. We're chatting because we don't want to check Wall Street because the Dow's down about 366 points. We're at 53,096 right now. S&P 500 is down 15. The NASDAQ is down 92.
KIRO 7 Pinpoint Alert Days, your advance notice to stay safe in the heat, smoke, and summer storms. When weather threatens to disrupt your day and your plans, KIRO 7 sounds the alarm and alerts you days in advance. Stay informed, stay ready with KIRO 7 Pinpoint Weather only on KIRO 7 TV.
Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at the crash at Olympia. That's our one big blip on the board at this point. We'll break it down next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
KIRO Newsradio, where you hear G and Ursula.
It's got to be a white man that I'm voting for in 2028.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
Kamala Harris, I'm not voting for you. AOC, I ain't voting for you. We can't take no more chances. It's going to be a white man that I'm voting for in 2028.
And I think that's so sad without even knowing.
If you think that there's somebody that you believe that can win in 2028, you let me know.
Subscribe to the G and Ursula Show on YouTube and watch live or later.
Are you looking to buy a house, but like everyone, you're priced out of the Bellevue, Kirkland, and Seattle market? Many buyers have the income, the credit, and the desire to own, but simply don't have the down payment, often at least $75,000 just for a starter home. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue with a great opportunity for home buyers. Introducing our Legacy Opportunity Loan. Legacy Group Capital has a select group of 100 new construction, single-family, and townhomes in the top Western Washington locations. Acquire a new construction home with no down payment, allowable closing costs paid, and a competitive rate. Yes, that's no down payment and some closing costs paid by Legacy. A wise man once said, the hardest part of winning in real estate is just getting in. And now you can with our Legacy Opportunity Loan. So get in the game.
Limited properties available to qualified Washington borrowers. Learn more about this limited opportunity at LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, LLC, and MLS ID 99045. Visit LegacyG.com for additional program details.
Summer's a busy time for most businesses, and WaFd Bank is here to help you keep up. WaFd Bank has you covered with free business checking, business credit cards, credit lines, and other services to move your business forward. WaFd also offers payment processing, so customers can pay through a kiosk, a mobile app, or online for seamless transactions. And with so many options, WaFd Bank is quickly becoming an SBA preferred lender of choice, so you'll find the perfect fit to meet your goals. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com, member FDIC, loan subject to credit approval.
I want a woman. I want a big girl.
See the hysterical Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias when he takes the stage at Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Saturday, August 29th at 5:30 and 9:30 p.m.
This way, we both can agree on the temperature of the thermostat.
He's sold out stadiums around the world, and now he's coming to Muckleshoot Casino Resort on August 29th. Get tickets before they're gone to laugh out loud with Gabriel Iglesias at muckleshootcasino.com.
Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions, D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
So we were talking about the new robot for blood draws. Sully, you called it the phlebotomizer.
Yeah, it makes sense, don't you?
Yeah, but Matt in Ravensdale might have a better idea.
I love it.
Calls it the fully autonomous phlebotomist.
This sounds great, doesn't it? I like it.
Try saying that 10 times fast.
Would that be phlebotomist is spelled with a PH, right?
Yes.
So that'd be the FAP.
Oh, no!
Right?
Let's go check.
Is that a bad acronym? I don't know. Is it for something?
It sure is, Sully. Why don't we just take it away?
Acronym?
How's traffic?
I don't know. Am I incredibly naive about something? Apparently. Mike, you're laughing at me. What is the FCC at me right now? I'm not really sure.
How's traffic, Sully?
Okay. We're looking at one issue right now on the board. It's southbound I-5. I have no idea what you guys are talking. Seriously. Okay, we'll have to talk at the break.
I'll tell you off mic.
Okay, we have this crash on southbound I-5 right there at 104, the exit 104 down in the Olympia area. We are looking at basically about a 2.5-mile backup because of this crash. Good news is the car that was on its side now back on its tires. Hopefully this won't be too bad of a problem there. But we've got as I said, about a 15-minute delay. This is right there before you get to the 101 interchange. Going the other direction, a little braking in DuPont, but manageable. We've got under 40 minutes to Tacoma. Looking at the crash to the Sumner area, right there at Traffic Ave. It's clear. The good news is we're no longer backed up out of Bonnie Lake. Almost all the backup there has gone away. Then you have 45 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue, we've got about 25 now. Federal Way to Seattle's not bad, though it's 45 minutes, just kind of meandering slow. Southbound I-5 from about the Jackson Park Golf Course at 145th, now down past Lake City Way. 50 minutes from Everett into the Seattle area, 45 to 48 from Everett into Bellevue. Lake bridges are still fine. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance, heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical. Home Comfort Alliance, repairs first, replacing only if it makes sense. Ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. Get real pricing in 60 seconds. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Okay, hold myself together.
You ever have one of those moments where your entire career flashes in front of your eyes?
Yes.
Wow, I must have done something bad. I really have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Moving along. The forecast, clouds this morning, sunshine this afternoon. 85, the anticipated high in Seattle. It'll be warmer away from the water and in the south end. For tomorrow, some high clouds, mix of clouds and sun, and 80. Saturday, we do have the threat of some thunder showers. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with showers, a few sun breaks, and 71. Right now in Seattle, it is cloudy and 62.
James Lynch is ahead with the Cold Case Project. This is Seattle's Morning News.
At Carrier, we know that a comfortable home is a happy one. Whether it's with innovative breakthroughs in heating and cooling efficiency, or with different ways to control your home's temperature and air quality, we're always imagining new ways to make your home totally comfortable.
Turn to the experts and let your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer improve your home's comfort and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find an expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-822-1490. That's 800-822-1490. 800-822-1490.
Certain industries expose workers to hazardous chemicals. If you worked in a paper or pulp mill, or in aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and have a child born with birth defects, your child may be entitled to legal damages as a result of your exposure to such chemicals. Birth defects have been linked to toxic chemicals, metals, and solvents used in these industries. If your child was born with brain or spinal cord damage, organ or limb malformations, blindness, cerebral palsy, genetic damage, or other birth defects, and you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill, aircraft manufacturing, or painting, contact us now toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your children may be entitled to legal damages. If you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill or aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and your child has a birth defect, call toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your call is confidential. 1-866-99-TOXIC. Message authorized by Weinstein Cajano, 600 University Street, Suite 1620, Seattle, Washington.
I'm driving a 2026 Subaru Forester Touring Hybrid from Carter Subaru, and this car has made me a hybrid believer. I love the 360-degree camera. Of course, using less gas certainly doesn't hurt. Right now, get a 2026 Subaru Outback for 0.9% APR during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 8/31/26.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO Newsradio.
This week's Cold Case Project is from 1977. A 20-year-old Tacoma man was shot and killed. Partial remains discovered a year later.
Still, after nearly 50 years, no suspect has been found. Here's James Lynch with this week's Cold Case Project.
Good morning, everyone. Our Cold Case Project for this week is a case from a man that went missing in 1977. Partial remains were found in 1978, but they weren't identified until 2024. He was a victim of homicide, shot to death, according to the medical examiner. My good friend and Pierce County Sheriff's Department PIO Carly Capetto joins us now. And Carly, thank you for joining us. So good to see you. And let's start at the beginning. Talk to me about this case, how it started and where it's gone since then.
Yeah, absolutely. This case, like many others, continue to sit on our shelves unsolved, and we want to bring resolution to this case. But this is a case from 1977, and what's interesting about it is that he disappeared in 1977, but the first remains weren't found until 1978, when mushroom pickers had found partial remains in 1978. And then it wasn't until 10 years later in 1988 is when more of those remains were found. And it sat for a very long time before the investigation really started to pick up any speed to identify him. But what the turning point for us turning this into a homicide case, cold case, was in 2024. His remains were sent off for genealogy testing, and that's when he was identified as William Church Jr.
What happens to the investigation when so much time passes, when you have so little information? How do investigators keep a case like this alive over the decades?
Well, back in 1977, it did not help that there was nothing really virtually filed. So most everything sat in paper file cabinets. Many of the new detectives that took on the case, there is very little in the file to go off of. The technology was not good, and the way that they stored records, there weren't a lot of rules and regulations on records storage. And obviously we've improved that over the years, but because this is a pretty old case, there's little to go off of. We know that he was 20 years old when he disappeared. And we also know that he had a fiance, but we only have her first name, which is Mary. We put out a bulletin in December of 2024 with a drawing of what Will would look like, or Bill. He went by Bill. And specifically, we were reaching out for his fiance, Mary. With only the first name, that's all we knew. But we were really hoping by showing that picture of him that it would spark and somehow go on social media and locate this Mary, which was the fiance who reportedly was the last person to see him. Because we have not been able to locate Mary, our case has remained cold.
What would you like to say about the need for them to come forward with what they know and what they remember?
We hope that if anyone knew that there was a Mary that potentially had a fiance that had died at a young age, any sort of interviews we could ask to locate this Mary would be wonderful. We also do believe that maybe he had a young child The challenging part about it is William was adopted by his own family, so there's not a lot of history there as well. So it's unknown what became of his own child, if there was still a living child out there. But any of those people, either Mary or his young child, that would listen to this and possibly be like, hey, this could be my ancestor, this could be my father, we encourage them to call us.
Alrighty, Carly, I sure do appreciate you joining us today. Thank you so much for your time and your information. We do want to send the call out for anybody who may have been in Bill Church's orbit in the mid-1970s, may have known if he was beefing with someone back then, or just have any information of what might happen to him. We want them and encourage them to call Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS, and you can remain anonymous with your information if you choose to do so. And maybe if someone calls, we can get some new information for investigators, and hopefully we can bring a close to this decades-old cold case and give some closure to those who knew him and his family that are still alive today. So, Carly, thank you so much, and I hope the best for you in the rest of the day.
That's James Lynch. This is time for traffic. We check that every 10 minutes. Here's Sully.
And we're up to an hour now to go from Everett to the Seattle area, with about 40 of those minutes out of Linwood. Really getting heavy now south of 145th. I-405 is about 10 minutes faster, 50 minutes from Everett down into Bellevue. Renton to Bellevue is about a half an hour now. Valley Freeway is up to about 48 minutes. Still working with this crash on southbound I-5 in Olympia right before you get to the off-ramp there to 101. 2 left lanes remain blocked for this crash. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Clouds this morning, sunshine for the afternoon, and warm at 85 today. It's 62 in Seattle right now.
New details on the recall effort against Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson. She's responding to accusations. That's coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
Hi, how can I help?
Well, my husband and I feel like we've outgrown our current money manager.
I see.
Our lives have changed, and we need something more than just mutual funds to help us in retirement.
She's right.
I hear that often. At Fisher Investments, we'd start by getting to know you, your finances, family, health, lifestyle. We tailor a portfolio around your goals and needs.
Sounds good.
Can you help with estate planning?
Yes. We have a team of specialists who can help you with estate planning, Social Security, investment income, and more. We'll get to know your whole financial picture and help keep you on the path to a comfortable retirement.
And your fees?
We have a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
I feel better already.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
Jane is a small business owner. Tell them what that's like, Jane.
Yeah, well, it's like a roller coaster with a lot of ups and downs, and some days things can feel like they're flying off the rails.
Yep, it's a lot. But the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business can help you manage it all. With the largest, fastest fiber-powered network designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect.
Nice. So everything stays on track.
The Total Solutions Advantage. No one does business like Comcast Business.
The more solutions you add, the more you save. Get started today with a qualifying internet package for as low as $60 a month when you add an advanced solution. Plus, new customers, ask how to get up to $1,500 in prepaid cards when you add 2 lines of mobile to a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and automatic payments with bank account required. $60 offer requires 300 meg internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Prepaid card offers end 9/13/2026.
Jason Rance here. If your water heater is getting older, leaking, or running out of hot water, CM Heating has an affordable solution. Get a new gas or electric water heater installed starting at just $44.99 a month. With CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program, you'll get lifetime repairs and maintenance at no extra charge. Parts and labor covered for life. Plus, same-day installation is available in many cases. Schedule your free estimate today at cmheating.com.
License number CMHEAHL 750LP.
Guys, if you have low energy or reduced drive, it could be low testosterone. At Revive Health here in Seattle, start with a free testosterone exam and consultation with an experienced medical provider. And for a limited time, qualified patients can get started with a free month of TRT. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivehealth.com.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Step into Seahawks game day at the Pro Shop, where the roar of the 12s begins. And official Seahawks gear is always within reach.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
This is the Pro Shop. Visit the official store of the Seattle Seahawks, located at Lumen Field and the Landing in Renton.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Frustration growing in the Midwest following days of rain and for some more than a week without power. Flood watches stretching again overnight from Illinois through West Virginia and Pennsylvania. After living in the U.S. for 6 years, Harry and Meghan are moving back to the U.K.
According to The Telegraph, the move is planned for later this month, with the family believed to be taking up residence in a private, non-royal residence outside London. The paper also reporting that the couple's two children, 7-year-old Prince Archie and 5-year-old Princess Lilibet, are enrolled to start at British schools in September.
ABC's Lama Hassan at Buckingham Palace. The national debt now hitting a staggering $40 trillion, driven mostly by costs for defense, Social Security, and Medicare. Walmart has posted another strong performance in the second quarter, but that was overshadowed by a more cautious outlook for the rest of the year. Early on, Walmart shares had been sliding almost 6%. This is ABC News. Supporters of Lindsay Clancy are expected to gather outside the courthouse in Plymouth, Massachusetts today in support of her. ABC's Peter Haralambos has more on the mom who killed her 3 children, she says, in the grips of postpartum psychosis, and a witness who was not allowed on the stand.
Defense lawyers unsuccessfully tried to call a TikToker who posted about the case itself. This was someone who actually worked at the facility where Clancy was treated. She believed that prosecutors were misrepresenting the quality of care there, posted a TikTok about it, prompting defense lawyers to reach out to her to see if she'd be willing to testify for the defense case. The judge ultimately saying that her testimony would have been credible, but it wasn't material to the case because that woman stopped working at the facility about a year before Clancy was admitted.
Nantucket Island, one of the most naturally beautiful and expensive places in the country, is dealing with a very high number of tick-borne illnesses. There have been 269 cases so far this summer compared to 250 for all of last year. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 7:02, here's what's happening. Mayor Katie Wilson brushing off the recall petition filed against her, telling reporters she's focused on leading the city. We'll have more from Tim Hole in a moment.
Time is running out for the Seattle Public Schools and the Teachers Union to reach a deal before school starts September 2nd. The union is threatening to strike if there's no new contract by the end of the month.
And Seattle police are looking for whoever shot a man near Rocks Hill Park in southwest Seattle yesterday afternoon. He's in serious condition.
Just about 7:03, that's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. What's up, Sully?
Well, we've got kind of a standard Thursday drive out there. Brake lights right where they should be. The heaviest definitely coming down from the north end with hour drives from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, with 40 of those minutes away from Linwood, right in the normal places. Westbound across the trestles a little slow, but nothing out of the ordinary. Now, northbound 167 is pretty heavy from 180th on up as well, and add that to the normal stuff in Auburn, and we're close to 30 minutes out of Auburn and over 50 all the way from Peoria. Puyallup. Also seeing some slowing on southbound 167 there, making the transition to 512 in Puyallup. Not sure what we got going on there, but I'm checking into it. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems for you guys. Federal Way to Seattle's running right around 45. The lake bridges are still good, and we still have about a 10-minute delay on southbound I-5 getting through Olympia. Crash right before the off-ramp to 101 there has the 2 left lanes blocked. They got the car back up on its tires, but we have about a 2-mile backup behind it. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Save $588 on every window, $1,088 on every door, plus free heat deflecting glass. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good Thursday morning. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson says she has a city to run while her recall fight heads for a courtroom.
KIRO Newsradio's Tim Hull is live with her response and new polling that shows some trouble for the mayor.
Yeah, Wilson was asked about the recall yesterday during a housing event.
So that is a legal process that will be playing out. I'm focused on leading the city and on making it an affordable place for people to live, and that's the work that we're here to discuss today.
Pretty much all she had to say. The hearing scheduled on the recall effort Monday, August 31st before a King County Superior Court judge. Wilson said she won't attend and instead let her attorneys do the talking. 2 Seattle residents filed the petition earlier this month accusing the mayor of ignoring public safety concerns and being derelict in her duties. The judge will decide whether those allegations are sufficient to move forward. It's not a slam dunk, says Seattle University law professor Krissa Delganis.
It's really a very high bar. And historically, past efforts have usually been unsuccessful.
She talked with KIRO 7 historically. Back in 2020, a recall effort against then-Mayor Jenny Durkin initially cleared Superior Court, but was later rejected by the state Supreme Court. Wilson's also getting some rough numbers in a new Seattle Metro Chamber poll. Her favorability, 37%, down 20 points since April. 62% view her unfavorably. And on public safety, 66% of voters surveyed say they're not confident Wilson and her administration have an effective plan.
Tim Hole reporting live. It's 7:05.
3 firefighters and a civilian were hurt in Bellevue yesterday at an office building fire. The roof of the building near Northeast 8th Street and 148th Avenue Northeast collapsed. The firefighters had to go to the hospital with multiple injuries. The civilian whose hand was burned did not go to the hospital. There's no word yet how the fire started.
A teenager is in trouble after allegedly starting a dangerous brush fire in Renton. According to Como News, the flames broke out Monday behind the Royal Hills apartment complex. Firefighters were able to stop the fast-moving fire before it could spread to wooden buildings. Police say they identified a boy running from the scene and recommended reckless burning charges. Fire officials say this is actually the 11th fire in that specific neighborhood since June. Terrified neighbors say they want security cameras installed.
Washington's 2 largest wildfires have gobbled up more than 300,000 acres of land and have both been burning about a month now. The Little Giant Fire is near Chelan. The Sinlahican Fire is threatening the town of Tenasket in Okanagan County. And another fire is still burning closer to home, as we hear from KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon.
And the Three Queens Fire, it's about 8 miles east of Snoqualmie Pass. It's only 2% contained. It's burned nearly 3,800 acres. Level 3 go-now evacuations are still in place around Cochise Lake and Cle Elum Lake. It is still only 2% contained. So certainly right now, we still have several big wildfires burning. Yeah.
The NTSB has released a preliminary report on last month's Kenmore Air float plane crash near Asusha Island.
The agency says the pilot reported bad weather on July 23rd on the way from Seattle to Roche Harbor and said he planned to land and wait for conditions to improve. Witness video shows the plane's left wing hit the water on landing before it struck some rocks and caught fire. All 11 people on board that plane got out and survived. The pilot and 2 passengers, though, were hurt. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Kenmore Air says it's reviewing the report and will continue to cooperate with the NTSB.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
It's 7:07. It's Thursday, August 20th. It's Friday Eve. He's Charlie Harger. I'm Manda Factor.
We have Sully at hand checking traffic on the 3s every 10 minutes.
Oh, who's picking the music?
That is Nick Krasia running the board for us.
I was in a festive mood. Let's just put it that way.
And who doesn't love some Billy Squier?
Yeah.
Love
Good
Billy
stuff.
Squier.
Good
Who
stuff.
doesn't? Mike Seibert is producing the show, filling in for David Burbank. We have Jillian Raftery in for Katrina Gishard and Tim Hole in for Luke Ducey this morning.
Coming up this hour of the show, parents are watching a major lawsuit against Meta closely, while scammers overseas have already stolen billions from Americans this year. We're going to check in with former FBI agent, ABC's crime and terrorism analyst Brad Garrett.
When a repeat juvenile offender keeps escalating, the answer sounds simple, right? Lock him up. But what if the place we're looking for him, we're locking him up in, is failing too? That's coming up in the 7:35 commentary.
It's now 7:08. There's a new development in an early August homicide in Tacoma's North End neighborhood. We get more from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
Tacoma police say on Tuesday they arrested a third suspect, an adult male, and booked him into the Pierce County Jail for murder in the first degree. The charges are tied to an August 7th fatal shooting of an adult man near North 30th Street and North Star Street. Detectives had already arrested an injured adult male suspect at a local hospital, and a juvenile suspect was also arrested earlier this month. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle police are investigating a shooting in southwest Seattle. 911 calls for shots fired near Rocks Hill Park came in just after 1 o'clock. When officers arrived, they found a man down with multiple gunshot wounds. SPD Detective Shane Weatherford says he was being cared for by bystanders.
Several King County public health employees happened to be nearby, and they provided aid until police and Seattle Fire Department's medics arrived. The 40-year-old man was transported to Harborview Medical Center in serious condition.
He says anyone with information or home surveillance video should call Seattle police.
Police in Buckley have captured a fugitive wanted for a string of violent crimes. According to King 5, officers arrested 20-year-old Isaiah David O'Neill Sapp during a routine traffic stop. He had active warrants out of King County for rape and robbery. Prosecutors say he also escaped from electronic home monitoring on 2 separate occasions. O'Neill Sapp was previously the main suspect in a viral Seattle dog abuse case in 2024. That's the case where Seattle City Council President Joy Hollingsworth went to the man's apartment to rescue the dog after seeing the video. He was never charged for that crime because investigators couldn't track down the dog's medical records. For this latest arrest, though, he's now in the King County Jail.
Seattle wants to bring some vehicle traffic back to Pike Place Market this fall and winter. According to Como News, the city is pitching a new plan to reopen the street to cars on weekdays. Vehicles would be allowed to travel all day, Monday through Thursday, starting October 1st. However, the city would limit access for most drivers on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoons. Researchers say allowing more cars during the slower winter months will help support the market's businesses. City expects to propose a new, stricter traffic plan ahead of the busy spring and summer seasons.
Washington State posted its first drop in unemployment since 2024, and economists say the World Cup deserves some of the credit. Annalise Vance Sherman with the Washington Employment Security Department says the leisure and hospitality sector added a lot of jobs.
This is a sector that we've really been watching. And
Barn Little League from Texas on Friday. Barn Little League from Texas on Friday. I don't know how to pronounce it. B-O-E-R-N-E.
I think it's Bernie, actually.
Bernie?
But it's the Southwest team.
Okay.
Just call it Southwest, Northwest, and you're good to go.
Thanks, Manda.
The Mariners had quite the bounce back in the series against the Brewers. They got a win yesterday, a day after that thing we're not going to talk about again.
Munoz ready. The pitch. Swung on, bounding a ball to shortstop. Rodden has it, sets his feet, whips it to first in time. That's the ball game. Mariners get the win 7-5. Andres Munoz, save number 100 in a Mariners uniform. Only the 4th pitcher all time with 100 saves or more as a Mariner.
Even with a 60-67 record, the Mariners are not at the bottom of the AL West. That honor belongs to the Athletics, 49-78.
Well, there you go. And former Husky great Myles Gaskin retiring from pro football. The 29-year-old running back made it official yesterday on social media. 7 NFL seasons. Seattle Times reports Gaskin grew up in Linwood, became a star at O'Day, and went on to set Washington's all-time career rushing record. In his farewell post, he thanked Seattle for, quote, letting me play my last snaps back at the crib.
That's nice. It's 7:12, and that's time for a check on our forecast. Clouds this morning, sunshine for the afternoon. Pretty warm today, 85. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds for your Friday, tomorrow around 80. And then Saturday could get a little interesting around here. Showers, potential for some thunderstorms as well. Maybe some sun breaks too, 71. Sunday, just lingering showers and 74. Back to the sunshine on Monday. It's 62 in Seattle right now.
7:13 now. We check traffic on the threes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And not too bad for a Thursday. The brake lights right where they should be, and they're intense in their own way. But a travel time of about an hour or under from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue is really not too bad. We're actually hovering just under 40 minutes away from Linwood. So that's, maybe a little faster than you might have expected. The brake lights are severe, but you get out of them a little bit faster maybe than you might have expected. Northbound I-5 from Federal Way to Seattle, about 45 minutes. That's pretty good. Just kind of meandering under the speed limit up past SeaTac, and then you have the heavier braking past the West Seattle Bridge. The Valley Freeway, definitely about 50 minutes, though. It's heavy getting into and through Auburn, plus the normal stuff from 180th on up, and then Renton to Bellevue is about a half an hour at this point, continuing to see the brake lights through the S-curves, but you get a little faster the further north you go. Lake bridges are still in very good shape, and they are making some steady progress down in Olympia with this crash we've been working with the last couple of hours. That rollover, we have southbound 5 right at 101 there in the Olympia area. They've gotten the cars out of the way. They're now in the process of doing some cleanup and checking out the Jersey barrier in between the lanes of traffic. You still have about a 2-mile backup and about a 10 or 12 minute delay, but hopefully this won't be with us too much longer. This report brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Don't miss fireworks nights all summer, presented by T-Mobile. Next show, August 21st, as the Mariners take on the Cubs. Get your tickets, mariners.com/fireworks.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Fewer than 3 months ago until the midterm elections, and Democrats have the edge, according to a wide-ranging Emerson College poll.
The Hill campaign editor, Sophia Vento, says there are several factors for the shift.
Trump's sour approval ratings paired with anxieties about the economy and the ongoing war in Iran have definitely, taken hold in the electorate. And Democrats definitely have the upper hand going in. We've seen polls ranging from 4% to 8% today to even 11%. So we'll definitely see if Democrats are able to pull it off, but the odds are definitely in their favor right now.
The poll also revealed rising support for the Democratic Socialists of America Party and begs Marco Rubio to get the Republican nomination for president in 2028 over J.D. Vance.
7:15 now, a twofer with Brad Garrett from ABC this morning. A couple topics to go over with him. First, we have social media's impact on kids back in the spotlight as that trial against Meta gets underway in California.
At the same time, scammers operating out of Southeast Asia are accused of stealing billions from Americans through sophisticated online fraud schemes.
Brad Garrett joins us. He is ABC's crime and terrorism analyst. Brad, let's start with the Meta trial. I know you are watching this. What are you watching for in this case?
So obviously, the government, through state attorney generals, et cetera, are arguing that because Meta uses basically algorithms to entice kids to stay on a particular topic. So, for example, if a kid runs suicides in juveniles or kids, and they start looking at stuff about suicide, the algorithms are so, just like for us, when we look at things like buying some item, you'll then get all of these emails, text messages about that same type of item you can buy someplace else. The same thing happens, in effect, I'm being simplistic, but the same thing happens basically on social media. So kids are really no different than adults as far as it's set up to keep you online because that's where they make money. Obviously their intent is not for kids to harm themselves or be harmed in any way. But, the experts basically say, the people who study behavior in kids, let's say in the sort of 10 to 19 age window, is the vulnerability of stuff they pick up online can adversely affect how their brains will function, causing issues with depression, anxiety. Certainly mental health treatment has gone up substantially since social media and cell phones. Cell phones aren't really part of this lawsuit, but they're relevant as far as keeping kids on a device, have caused really some adverse situations with a number of kids.
Brad, Meta has already lost a couple of big cases similar to this one. What's your thinking on this one?
Well, I mean, look at it this way, Amanda. If the judge, a jury orders them to stop targeting, basically, if somebody checks a subject, then they don't get 10 other videos about that subject. First of all, I don't know how you stop that, but maybe there is some way, obviously, to shut the algorithm off. How do you monitor it? But it really all boils down to how much time kids spend online. Many of the social psychologists that study this stuff suggest that anything over 3 hours on a daily basis can put kids in a vulnerable position as far as, thinking of themselves, self-body image issues, self-esteem issues, if they're depressed, becoming more depressed, getting lost basically on the internet, which unfortunately happens way too much. Can you stop that through, well, you can't stop it, but with parents intervening, now that's a tough call, right? Trying to keep kids off of cell phones and computers, but it's a touchy and tricky subject.
Brad, what's your best advice for parents?
Well, the best they can is talk to their kids about the adverse effects of staying online so much and try to gently monitor them as much as possible. Again, as I mentioned earlier, that's really tricky because you're not with your kids all the time. If you have a teenager, they're at school, they're with kids after school, whose computers are they on, whose phones are they on. It really boils down to your relationship with your kid, which we all know can be more challenging for some parents than others.
Mentioned we have a twofer today, so I wanted to get to our other topic before we run out of time. Scammers operating out of Southeast Asia, accused of stealing billions from Americans. Who are these people, Brad?
So I think this is my term, is basically South Asian organized crime running sweatshops, luring people, let's say, and I'm talking about Thailand, Cambodia, a number of other countries, where they lure folks to a particular country. Then they take their passports and they make them work. And they work 16, 18 hours a day, making literally hundreds of thousands of phone calls, text messages, emails that we all get inundated with. And, clearly, most of us see this stuff. We delete it. We never open it. We don't know who it's from. But there's going to be a percentage of people that bite. And the FBI estimates that the U.S. folks lost approximately $21 billion in 2025 through cyber scams. And they run all sorts of gamuts, from disaster fraud, adoption fraud, pretending to be a bank fraud, pretending to be whatever. You've just won this big prize and we need to get you this money. People are intrigued. They click on it. And, either two things will happen. One is it's a scam to try to get you to send them money, or they put ransomware on your device and then they start stealing whatever you have, like, information about banks, how to get into certain aspects of your computer that could lead them to money or to identity theft.
Well, language and grammar and syntax always used to be the big red flag, but with the rise of AI, how complicated are things going to get here, Brad?
Much more. You just have to have a leery eye on almost everything that's sent you, even things that you might expect, but they may be generally worded like you're expecting to have some sort of communication. I'm just making this up, with like your bank. Let's say it was the Bank of America. And so that may make you think twice, should I click on this? Unfortunately, you're just going to have to double check, is this real? Not by clicking on it, by checking with the bank and saying, did you send me this? And also, many of these ways of communication, a bank, whomever, would not use a text message to communicate with you. So it's all of those things. In other words, the short answer is it puts all of the pressure on you and I looking at this stuff on our phones, tablets, etc., to figure out if it's real or not. It's not fair, but it's sort of the reality.
All right, Brad, thanks for your time as always. We appreciate it. ABC News crime and terrorism analyst, former FBI agent Brad Garrett.
We need to check with Sully for traffic on the 3s.
And we have some positive news. Finally have cleared all lanes of southbound I-5 down in the Olympia area, right between the Capitol exit down to the exit at 101 there to you take to get to the beach or to West Olympia. So hopefully the backup will go away pretty quickly. It's already really getting much better there. So don't really have to worry about that thing anymore. Going the other direction, just a little slowing going through DuPont, under 40 to Tacoma. And the map is actually a little quieter for a Thursday than maybe you might have expected. Federal Way to Seattle, about 50. Was, under the speed limit, kind of annoyingly so, but not by much, all the way up through South Center. Nice long freeway speed gap till you get to about the middle of Boeing Field. About 50 minutes. Puyallup up to Renton. Renton to Bellevue is a half an hour. Coming down from the north end, a little over an hour from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Normally, during typical Thursdays with Revive I-5, we're close to an hour and 20, hour and 25 at this time of day. So it's only an hour and 5. I think we should count that as a win. I mean, the brake lights are really heavy, but they're not, you don't get into them as fast, and you get out of them maybe a little faster than you expected. Lake bridges are in great shape. This report brought to you by D.R. Horton. Looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com. Schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Well, our pattern continues. Morning clouds, afternoon sunshine, 85 the high for today. Tomorrow, mix of clouds and sun and 80. Showers, maybe some thunder showers on Saturday with a high of 71. Right now it's 62 in Seattle.
Coming up, we'll have more of the day's top stories. And in today's commentary, a judge can take away a teenager's freedom, but can Washington State actually help him? One young offender story reveals the gap between accountability and rehabilitation. That's the 7:35 commentary coming up.
This is Seattle.
This hour is KIRO News Radio, where you hear G and Ursula, weekdays 9 to noon.
Starbucks is going to stop covering GLP-1 medications for weight loss. If you're on it, you know that these drugs per month can be like up to $1,000 if you don't have coverage.
When have we ever believed that pharmaceutical companies or any other company is going to make less profit to help the people out?
Watch live or later on the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
My name is Jeff. I live in Northern California, and I am 65 years old, actually 65 and a half as of 2 days ago. I've been practicing medicine for 37 years. People have this impression that doctors know insurance, that they understand insurance. Let me assure you they do not. Medicare is complex. It's really complex, and the government did not make it easy to understand. Chapter really helps you understand it. They talked me through what my options were, and then they helped me tailor-make a plan. One of the things that really impressed me with Chapter was the human touch element of it. I was not talking to an AI agent. I was talking to a real person who answered my questions. And not only that, but they remembered the particulars from our last conversation. They really weren't just being a representative, that they actually cared about me as a person. And that sounds cliche, but it makes all the difference in the world.
To learn more about how you can get free personalized Medicare advice, visit chapter.com today. Again, that's chapter.com.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Thinking about a new roof or exterior upgrade, but worried about the cost? This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We've created our summertime savings event to make it simple and affordable. Save up to $3,000 off your exterior project or get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. And every qualifying GAF roof is backed by our lifetime Golden Pledge warranty. One call gets you started. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Logan Fury did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he bought a mini treadmill. Is walking on it during video conference calls more distracting than he thought? Yes. And is that because he overestimated his foot-eye coordination? Definitely. But it's Logan's savings, and if he wants to burn calories and any chance at a promotion, we say, good for you, Logan. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Certain industries expose workers to hazardous chemicals. If you worked in a paper or pulp mill, or in aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and have a child born with birth defects, your child may be entitled to legal damages as a result of your exposure to such chemicals. Birth defects have been linked to toxic chemicals, metals, and solvents used in these industries. If your child was born with brain or spinal cord damage, organ or limb malformations, blindness, cerebral palsy, genetic damage, or other birth defects, and you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill, aircraft manufacturing, or painting, contact us now toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your children may be entitled to legal damages. If you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill or aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and your child has a birth defect, call toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your call is confidential. 1-866-99-TOXIC. Message authorized by Weinstein Cajano, 600 University Street, Suite 1620, Seattle, Washington.
Nothing worse than clutter. With Closets by Design, everything will finally have its place. 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Closet.byDesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:30. Negotiations resume in about 90 minutes between Seattle teachers and the school district.
KIRO News Radio's Tim Hole is here live as the two sides hope to close the book on a new contract before school starts.
Ballard High School science teacher and union rep India Carlson says she wants a deal so she can focus on getting ready for her students.
SBS, we need a contract. I'm a union rep, and we need a contract so that I can focus on getting ready for school, finishing up getting my classroom and greenhouse and the garden ready for students. We need a contract.
Her message posted on the Seattle Education Association Facebook page after negotiations wrapped yesterday. Issues on the table include pay, workload, planning time, class sizes, and staffing. The current contract expires Monday, August 31st. That's 11 days from today. School is scheduled to start the next day. Seattle Public Schools says it wants a deal, but also says it has to keep the district's finances in mind. We don't know how close the two sides are to an agreement. Today's bargaining session is scheduled to run from 9 this morning until 9 tonight.
Tim Hole reporting live. It's 7:31.
Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is promising faster permits as part of a broader push to build more housing. Her new executive order creates a task force looking at affordable housing, design review, and keeping people from being priced out of their neighborhoods.
We can't control every one of these forces, but we must take action wherever we can, because housing that people can afford is critical to a healthy city.
The task force is expected to deliver its first recommendations next February.
Wilson says she's not focused on the recall petition filed against her. Several asked her at a press conference yesterday for her to respond now that a hearing is set for August 31st, where a King County judge will decide if the recall meets legal burdens to move forward.
Just to follow up on that, are you planning to be at the hearing? The date has now been set. Do you plan to be there?
I personally will not be there. I will be represented by counsel.
Instead, she says she's focused on moving her administration's priorities forward. The petition was filed earlier this month.
Meanwhile, a new poll shows plummeting approval for the mayor. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon.
Her favorable rating has plummeted 20% since April. Fulcrum Strategy Group conducted the poll and interviewed 500 Seattle voters last week. And it shows 37% of people approve of her performance, voting favorable, while 62% of voters have an unfavorable view of the mayor. Breaking that down, 42% felt strongly unfavorable about the mayor, while 20% felt somewhat unfavorable.
Poll was commissioned by the Seattle Metro Chamber of Commerce.
At 7:33, we go over to Chris Sullivan for traffic on the threes.
Well, we're adding a little bit of volume on the drive out of the Snohomish County area, a little late arriving crowd on this Thursday. We've added about 10 minutes to both the trips on I-5 and 405 away from Linwood. They're up to about 50 minutes now, hour and 10 total from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, but nothing out of line compared to what you might expect if you do this daily. Looking at northbound I-5, definitely seeing a lot more braking past the Kent Des Moines Road, then a nice gap until you get up to about the middle of Boeing Field. We're getting closer to an hour to make that drive from Federal Way to Seattle. Right now, we're about 52 minutes. Valley Freeway over 50 at this point, heavy in Auburn and at the north end part of that drive. But coming through Sumner and Puyallup, really not that bad. Then Renton to Bellevue, about a half an hour. Lake Bridges continue to be in good shape. 18 over Tiger Mountain, we're seeing some very heavy brake lights now over the summit. Looking to see if we have something going on there other than that landscaping work that should have started about 7 a.m. Looking at 16 being in not that bad of shape. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube. Click subscribe. Get fresh video content daily.
And our forecast, clouds are starting to burn off this morning. We're going to heat up to 85 for today. Tomorrow, mix of clouds and sun, and 80 for Saturday. Still the threat of some thunder showers. Otherwise, clouds and showers, a few sun breaks, and 71. Right now in Seattle, we have some sunshine. It's 61 degrees.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974, this is KIRO News Radio.
It's time for the 7:35 commentary. He's 17 years old. He's already been through the juvenile justice system for serious crimes. Robbery at 15, guilty plea to it at 16. The court gave him an alternative disposition. He didn't follow the conditions, so the court revoked it and sentenced him to 52 to 65 weeks in juvenile rehabilitation. A judge prohibited him from possessing a firearm. His father was there for the sentencing, so was his mother. I point that out because the easy response to a kid like this is, where are the parents? At least on that day, they were there. We don't know what goes on inside that family, and I'm not going to pretend we do. Well, then he got out. And now, according to prosecutors, that same 17-year-old is under investigation for 2 first-degree robberies and an attempted first-degree robbery. Then last week, he was arrested in a separate South Seattle incident involving a stolen vehicle and shots fired at police. Those are allegations, not convictions. A judge has ordered the media not to identify him by name, and his name isn't the important part of this story anyway. The trajectory is convicted, incarcerated, released, and the allegations just got worse. The easy commentary here is to ask why somebody like this keeps getting another chance. I think we're asking the wrong question. If this were my son, and he'd already been locked up for robbery, gotten out, and within a short time was allegedly committing armed robberies and getting mixed up in scenes involving stolen cars and gunfire and undercover cops, I wouldn't be begging a judge to go easy on him. I'd be begging somebody to stop him. Because whatever happened last time clearly did not work. At some point, treating a young man as though consequences might damage him becomes his own kind of neglect. He's already being damaged, and other people may be getting damaged along the way. So yes, I think this young man needs serious intervention right now. That probably means taking away a substantial chunk of his freedom. But here's the problem. Where do we put him? Green Hill School is where Washington sends most of its troubled young people. Last month, the state's own auditors reported the facility has been over its safe capacity since 2023. Fights, assaults, contraband incidents quadrupled between 2022 and 2024. Nearly half the frontline staff leave within a year. Multiple staff members accused of sexual misconduct with inmates. A police task force raided the place and found fentanyl, meth, and shanks. Lock 'em up sounds right until you ask, lock 'em up where? Because warehousing a 17-year-old in that and calling it rehabilitation is just a lie. This young man turns 18 in about 4 months. Anything new he does after that birthday belongs to adult court. The clock is real. I can describe exactly what should happen right now. Put him somewhere secure enough that guns and drugs don't circulate around him. Make him go to school. Find out whether he needs mental health or substance abuse treatment. Give him a job skill. And when he gets out, don't just hand him a bus pass and wish him luck. Stay on him. I can describe all of that, and Washington State can't provide it. Building what this kid actually needs requires a kind of political courage Olympia hasn't been willing to spend. It means telling one side that restricting a teenager's freedom isn't cruelty when the alternative is watching him destroy himself. And telling the other side that locking him in a broken facility without funding real rehabilitation is theater. The trajectory he's on ends somewhere. Prison at 18, funeral at 20, or somebody else's funeral. Don't baby him. Don't warehouse him. Don't write him off. Stop him. Then use every day we have left to try to change where this story ends. And that's the 735 commentary for Thursday, August 20th, 2026. Text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Join the chat on our YouTube Live at KIRO News Radio, and you can always leave a comment at mynorthwest.com.
It's 7:39. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to talk about the building volume on southbound 5 and 405 away from Linwood. We'll talk about it next.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Nearly 1 in 4 people killed on the road in Washington weren't driving. Pedestrians on our roads are incredibly vulnerable, whether they're facing drunk, drugged, drowsy, or distracted drivers. Pedestrians are defenseless on our streets. That's why Davis Law Group fights for pedestrian accident victims and their loved ones after a crash. Davis Law Group delivers. So if you or a loved one have been injured, call Davis Law Group today at 206-888-8888 or visit davislawgroupseattle.com.
Say goodbye to clogged gutters and climbing ladders. With K-Guard by Guardian, leaves stay out, water flows freely, and your home stays protected year-round. Enjoy true peace of mind, no maintenance and no rust. Choose from a variety of colors to match your home's look and boost your curb appeal. Ready for hassle-free gutters? Protect what matters most with Guardian, the original Make Your Roof Last company. Visit GuardianRoofing.com to learn more.
Join the conversation and text your favorite show on the KIRO News Radio text line at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Guys, if your energy is down, your workouts feel harder, and your drive isn't what it used to be, it may not be aging. It could be low testosterone. At Revive Health here in Seattle, the first step is simple: a free testosterone exam and consultation with an experienced medical provider. We'll review your labs, symptoms, and overall health to determine if testosterone therapy could help improve your energy, strength, and performance. And for a limited time, qualified patients can get started with a free month of TRT. Revive has helped over 120,000 men since 2011 improve energy, sleep, mood, and confidence. If something feels off, don't ignore it. Get answers and take control of your health. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivehealth.com. Revive Health. Elevate your vibe. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact Revive for full details.
This summer, I'm driving the 2026 Subaru Forester Touring Hybrid from Carter Subaru. It is gorgeous. It's my first hybrid, and I'm loving the savings at the pump. And right now, during the Subaru A Lot to Love event, Carter Subaru has more than 800 vehicles in stock, including the 2026 Subaru Forester, starting at just 1.9% APR. Visit Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 8/31/26.
7:43, we hand it off to Sully for traffic.
And we are looking at a normal Thursday drive at this point. We've added a few more customers on the 405 corridor just in the last little bit as well. So that travel time has gone up kind of significantly. We're getting closer to a normal day. About an hour and 20-minute trip now from Everett to Bellevue, with an hour of that away from Linwood. So it is just crawling as you work your way away from 405 down through Canyon Park. And of course,
it's a reminder that, yes, it doesn't get there very often, and only when it really has to.
$15 in the express toll lane as we work our way south of Linwood. For I-5, it's about 10 minutes faster. Everett to Seattle, an hour and 10 with 50 from Linwood. The heavy brake lights there from about 145th down into the Ship Canal Bridge area. The other direction, well, we're looking at about an hour now from Federal Way to Seattle, right on our average, right where we should be. No shockers there. Valley Freeway, we've got about a 55-minute trip for you, and we're looking at about a 35-minute trip from Renton to Bellevue. Both of the lake bridges are still in pretty good shape. Eastbound 18, want to thank our good friend Josiah, who's already out there doing his job in his big rig. Looks like it's just the landscaping that we have on eastbound 18 down the east slope of Tiger Mountain to cause the braking. Right lane remains closed as they do that landscaping work from about 7 to 3. They should be wrapped up with it tomorrow, but you never know. It could spill into next week. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance, heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical. Home Comfort Alliance repairs first, replacing only if it makes sense. Ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. Get real pricing in 60 seconds. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
The clouds are burning off in Seattle. We're going to see sunshine for the afternoon, 85 the high for today. Tomorrow, Friday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, and 80. Saturday could be interesting. Showers and maybe some thunder showers, too. 71. Also some sun breaks a possibility. Lingering showers on Sunday, 74. Right now, sunshine and 61 in Seattle.
Coming up, a new study says Washington is ranked the third most social media addicted state in America. So many times do you check your phone this morning? G. Scott weighs in coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
Well, for years, women have been told the same thing about feeling a little off. The low energy, the mood swings, the weight gain. Well, I recently had to chat with board-certified physician Dr. Lucy Hostetter from Juvacor Health and Wellness Center. She said to me, the change happened to me, and every physician I went to said, quote, you just have to live with it. Well, she found that unacceptable. So she started doing some research, and it led her right down the path of hormones. Today, Dr. Hostetter and her team at Juvacor Health and Wellness Center use bioidentical hormone therapy customized to your body to bring back the you that's been missing. She says nobody has to jump full bore into hormones. They can take a stepwise approach, take it at your pace. She says she's looking at your individual labs, your individual goals, and they can take it as slow or as fast as you want. Call Juvacor Health and Wellness Center in Tacoma or their original location, which is Seattle Regenerative Medicine Center in Bellevue. Check out juvacorhealth.com. That's Juve corehealth.com and feel like yourself again.
There are 6 markets you can place your money in. Research suggests it's better to have exposure to all 6 markets. Don't miss a potential opportunity because you didn't strategically diversify your assets. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Request your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing in your portfolio. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
I want a woman. I want
a big girl.
See the hysterical Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias when he takes the stage at Muckleshoot Casino Resort, Saturday, August 29th at 5:30 and 9:30 p.m.
This way, we both can agree on the temperature of the thermostat.
He's sold out stadiums around the world, and now he's coming to Muckleshoot Casino Resort on August 29th. Get tickets before they're gone to laugh out loud with Gabriel Iglesias at muckleshootcasino.com.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, here he is for the Friday Eve early edition. G. Scott from the G and Ursula show is here.
Good morning, y'all. Y'all doing good?
Doing great.
We're doing great. It's been a fun morning.
Oh, yeah. Thanks to Sully.
Absolutely. Sully brings the fun.
When is that not the case?
So, G, we wanted to talk to you. Washington State, the third most social media addicted state in the nation.
You know, we all joke all the time about being addicted to our phones. Some of you are, some of you are not, and you're not. I am. But apparently, some states have it worse than others. A new study looked at Google searches connected to major social media platforms adjusted for population and ranked New York #1 in the country. Virginia came in second, and guess who's number 3? That's why we on here talking, us, the state of Washington. The study says the state of Washington generated more than 153,000 social media-related searches per 100,000 residents. Now, my thing on this whole thing is we've really normalized constantly being stimulated. And when I say we, I mean me. Let me explain. We stand in line. We grab our phones. We're on the elevator. We grab our phones. We're on the way to the restroom. We grab our phones. Matter of fact, we're in the restroom. Back in our day, shout out to Gen X and baby boomers, you guys remember the bathrooms, and in the bathroom, next to the toilet paper, used to be the magazines racks, right? Used to do, some of you guys used to, maybe you still do magazines. We don't do magazines anymore. We take our phone into the restroom. And so what has happened is that we can't be bored. We don't know how to be bored anymore. I even look back to my childhood, and I was just thinking about this the other day. I used to love road trips with my dad. How in the world did I do road trips? Like, my dad's smoking in the car. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys, as parents, smoked in the car. Yeah. He smoked in the car, right?
My dad, more than smoke.
And you just was standing there. So I myself recently, in the month of August, I actually started before this article came out. I know that I'm addicted to my phones. My wife just sent me a meme yesterday about people that have Netflix on, couples that have Netflix on in the background while the couples are on their phones. And my wife said, yeah, that's us. So I'm going to ask, let's go around here. Manda, are you addicted to your phone?
No. I actually am cognizant of how much it was being used and said, I gotta.
Every Sunday, do you have a little thing that comes that shows you how much your screen time was for the week?
Yeah, but I don't pay attention.
It's so bad for me that I quit looking. Like, I tell the phone, mind your business.
Are you making any effort to cut back or no?
No. I did. Yes. And what I have been doing is I have been saying, okay, purposely, I'm going to watch this show at night, and I'm going to put this phone down for at least an hour. Yeah. That helps. Also, the whole walking to my car, right? I leave work, walk to my car, grab my phone. I've been making a conscious effort to just walk to my car.
Yeah,
Charlie, you dig to your phone?
100%. Yeah, I couldn't believe it was maybe 15 years ago when I was teaching a class part-time, and I had a student who he texted, and you were able to count the number of text messages you had in a month, and he had like 300, and we were all shocked about somebody having 300 text messages in a month. Now that's quaint, right? We all do that. I think we've all kind of been the frog in the water as it slowly starts to boil.
Hey, I know we got some Gen Z that listens to the show. I just want to say, hey, There used to be a time that you used to tell your friends, hey, man, don't call me before 9 o'clock.
Now, G.
I don't get no minutes for free. What you got?
G, I need you to transport yourself back. Can you communicate with old G?
Oh, yeah.
25-year-old G.
Okay.
G, back then, suddenly has this powerful technology.
Yeah.
What websites or what apps is he using? And is he using them for good?
Oh, my.
That's a no. Can't name the apps.
Because the thing is when you ask about OG, I have to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that OG in his 20s had technology like this right here. No way.
It would have been more trouble.
No, yes.
Yeah. And you wouldn't be here right now.
No, absolutely not. Serious trouble I would get with the phone.
Can you imagine old G on a dating app?
Oh, boy.
Jeez. I mean, like, I'll ask this.
Yeah.
In your 20s or high school and 20s, if there was, let's just say right now, there was an opportunity for people to see, Sully, for you too, for people to see what you were doing in your 20s, if they played the video for everybody to see, would you still have your job?
Yeah.
I am working with some saints.
No. I mean, not college. Not high school, to be honest. High school or college, no way.
Yeah.
But after, yeah.
I didn't do anything bad in high school or college.
Yeah, we know that about you, Amanda.
I totally believe that.
Yeah, yeah, that tracks.
Amanda, let me ask you this before.
I'm not addicted to my phone.
Because you literally kick me out every day.
Yeah, I do.
Amanda.
Because you're bad. You're a bad influence.
You did all your homework, didn't you?
Of course I did.
Like, never in your lifetime has anybody ever done your homework before?
No.
Have you ever cheated on a test before?
No.
Man.
I got a B once. I got a B in PE because I was
late.
I
believe that. And just so you know, Amanda, I don't say this with a smile. I used to love playing dodgeball. And there would be, anyway.
And I was the kind of person you'd want to smash with the ball.
By the way, they should.
You may be excused.
Okay, I'm out of here. Dodgeball should be illegal. Is it illegal these days?
Yes, they still play.
Gosh.
Time to check traffic now.
Danger.
It should be back. Maybe we wouldn't be in so much trouble.
Sullivan with traffic.
I'm looking for a new crash and could use some help from my KIRO drivers on northbound I-5, approaching the new 509 interchange there as you come up past the Kent Des Moines Road. Bumper to bumper from 272nd up past the scene, and we've jumped up well over an hour now from Federal Way to Seattle. We have at least a 10-minute delay on that part of our drive. Looking at the Valley Freeway, about 50 minutes from end to end, and then we have Renton to Bellevue at about 35. Lake Bridges still fine. We're up to an hour and 20 now for both of our drives from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, with an hour of that away from Linwood. Olympia to Tacoma looks good. Most of Pierce County is in great shape. Eastbound over Tiger Mountain, still seeing the brake lights there. Right lane remains blocked on the east slope as they are doing some landscaping work. They hope to have that done by tomorrow. This report brought to you by Carpet Liquidators. August is Karastan month at Carpet Liquidators. Purchase beautiful Karastan carpet and get free installation. Why pay retail? They got you covered at Carpet Liquidators.
And our forecast, sunshine, 85. You might still see some clouds where you are. They will burn off. For tomorrow, a little bit cooler, 80. And then for the weekend, Saturday looks like an active weather day. Showers, possibility of thunder showers in 71. Right now, sunshine and 61 in Seattle.
Coming up, we have Mayor Katie Wilson responding to the recall effort. Sully will also have a choke point. We're talking about making driver's ed mandatory for thousands more people.
This is Seattle's Morning News.
Holy smokes, I can see. Hey, everybody, it's Rick Riz, and I just had refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision, and it's amazing. K2 Vision RLE means no more readers or glasses for me. Plus, I'll never get a cataract. Now, when I call a game, you won't see those readers dangling from the end of my nose to see the field and then my notes. I only wish I had done it sooner. It's like seeing a whole new ball game. K2 Vision RLE was quick and painless, over in just minutes, and I knew I was in great hands. The K2 Vision RLE team has done over 150,000 lens procedures. You can trust their stuff. K2 Vision RLE is my permanent solution to a lifetime of great vision. It could be yours too. Enjoy life's good years without readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. Get your free Zoom consult now at K2VisionRLE.com. Then you can make the same call I did. Goodbye, glasses. K2VisionRLE.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
At Carrier, we know that a comfortable home is a happy one. Whether it's with innovative breakthroughs in heating and cooling efficiency, or with different ways to control your home's temperature and air quality, we're always imagining new ways to make your home totally comfortable.
Turn to the experts and let your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer improve your home's comfort and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find an expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts gets you back to savings. Pick up select Royal Purple fuel system additives. Buy one, get one free. Plus receive 4 times O-Rewards points.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
You hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our summertime savings event means 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months, backed by our unbeatable warranties. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The national debt has now surpassed a record $40 trillion, highlighting the high cost of national defense and social safety net programs, including Social Security and Medicare. Interest payments on that debt, at least $1 trillion alone. Fewer people were applying for unemployment benefits last week, another sign that layoffs remain low, even though prices for many items remain high. Russia once again pummeling the capital of Ukraine. 16 people killed in Kyiv overnight.
It really remains to be seen when this war will end. There is no end in sight. Any effort to get Russia to the negotiating table and to actually make some concessions to end the war seems to have completely stalled.
ABC's Tom Sophie Burridge. President Trump claims today will be economic D-Day for Iran. The president trying to inflict pain on any country that works with Iran's financial institutions, businesses, or government entities. Meghan and Harry enrolling their kids in British schools as they head back to the UK. This is ABC News. The battle over AI-generated content now has the children of the late Robin Williams reviving his social media accounts to get his real voice back out there online. ABC's Rhiannon Alley explains.
The children of late movie legend Robin Williams aren't just protecting their father's legacy.
I ask you about love, probably quote me a sonnet.
They're fighting back against what they call AI abuse. Zach Zelda and Cody Williams reactivated his Instagram account, fed up with the alleged AI misuse involving their dad's likeness, writing, "As technology evolves, we want this to be a safe, trusted place where the stories, photos, videos, and memories shared reflect his legacy with authenticity, warmth, and care."
Walmart still did well in the second quarter, but the retailer is reporting the slowest sales pace in 6 years in the United States. Walmart offering a cautious outlook for the rest of the year. Consumers cutting back amid higher prices. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 8:02, here's what's happening.
Well, the clock is ticking for Seattle Public Schools and the Teachers Union. The current contract expires August 31st, and the union says teachers will strike if there's no new deal before students return September 2nd.
Washington State unemployment rate dipped to 5% last month, helped by a World Cup hiring boom. Restaurants serving World Cup crowds drove most of the new jobs.
And former O'Day High and UW star Myles Gaskin is hanging up his cleats after 7 seasons in the NFL.
Been kind of a busy Thursday morning. We check in with Sully for traffic on the 3s.
Yeah, I want to thank my drivers who are letting me know that State Patrol is with 2 cars and a semi, it looks like, on the shoulder on northbound I-5, just past the Kent Des Moines Road as you work your way up to right basically where the new 509 off-ramp peels off. And the good news is, since it's not blocking anymore, the backup is getting better, but we're still up over an hour from Federal Way to Seattle, so about 10 minutes slower than we probably should be at this time of the morning. The West Seattle Bridge in the eastbound direction also getting a little heavy, but not overly so by most days' standards. Rented to Bellevue, about 35 minutes now. The Valley Freeway behind that is getting better. We're about 50, which isn't too bad. Eastbound over Tiger Mountain, we continue to struggle with the right lane being blocked on the east slope as they continue to do that landscaping work. This one just into the traffic desk. Looks like we've been working a crash or something on westbound I-90 right before you get to the Mount Baker Tunnel. So we're really slow off the western tip of Mercer Island. Give yourself a couple extra minutes there. I'll have a lot more information on that coming up in 10 minutes. Coming down from the north end, kind of a standard Thursday, hour and 20-minute trips from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. This report brought to you by Harborstone Credit Union. Earn up to $30 per month just for using your Harborstone PNW Cashback debit card. Open your free checking account online today, harborstone.com/cash.
8:04 on the Thursday, August 20th, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
Well, we've told you the I-5 northbound ramp to Highway 18 was shut down for more than 4.5 hours early this morning.
That's after a car going 93 miles an hour tried to get away from state troopers and crashed in a field. Then it caught fire. Here's Trooper Cameron Watts.
No seatbelts, crashing into a field. They could have easily become entrapped in that vehicle with no way out. With the suspicion of them both being inebriated, the fact that they were able to actually get out of the car in that state, it's a miracle, honestly.
Passenger had to be hospitalized. The driver has past convictions and is now being investigated for 6 more felonies.
Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson says she has stayed focused on City Hall, not the effort to kick her out of it.
KIRO Newsradio's Tim Hole is live with her response and what happens next.
Yeah, Charlie Manda at a housing task force event on Wednesday. Reporters managed to get in 2 questions about the recall.
So that is a legal process that will be playing out. I'm focused on leading the city and on making it an affordable place for people to live, and that's the work that we're here to discuss today.
Just to follow up on that, are you planning to be at the hearing? The date has now been set. Do you plan to be there?
I personally will not be there. I will be represented by counsel.
That hearing is scheduled for Monday, August 31st before a King County Superior Court judge. 2 Seattle residents filing the petition earlier this month, accusing Wilson of ignoring public safety concerns and being derelict in her duties. Judge will decide whether those allegations are legally and factually sufficient to move forward, not whether Wilson should actually be recalled. And getting a recall onto the ballot isn't easy.
It's really a very high bar. And historically, past efforts have usually been unsuccessful.
That's Seattle University law professor Krista Dilganis on KIRO TV. Case in point, recall effort against then-Mayor Jenny Durkin in 2020. It received initial clearance but was later rejected by the state Supreme Court. If Wilson's recall makes it through the court, supporters would have 180 days to collect nearly 70,000 signatures to put before voters. Meantime, a new Seattle Metro Chamber poll puts Wilson's favorability at 37%. That's down 20 points since April. 62% view her unfavorably. 66% say they're not confident in her administration has an effective plan to improve public safety.
Tim Hull reporting live. It's 8:06.
Seattle police are investigating a shooting that happened yesterday afternoon in southwest Seattle. We get the details from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch, who was on the scene.
SPD says 911 calls started coming in just after 1 o'clock for shots fired near Rocks Hill Park on 29th Avenue Southwest. When officers arrived, they found a man in his 40s suffering from what they describe as multiple gunshot wounds. He was transported to Harborview Medical Center in serious condition. As for potential suspects, SPD Detective Shane Weatherford said this.
There is some suspect information that we can't share at this time, but we don't believe that there is an active threat to the public.
The Gun Violence Reduction Unit is handling the investigation. Anyone with information or pertinent home surveillance video should call Seattle Police or 911. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
In Monroe, police are celebrating a very good boy.
Good boy! Good boy, Thor!
That's right. Canine Officer Thor, the 6-year-old dog, was most recently involved in a foot chase through a field at night where he helped track a suspect and encouraged them to surrender.
The best boy.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
I'm fine with Zeppelin the rest of the hour.
Let's do
it means
it.
we're all cool.
Heck yeah. Good stuff.
This has been a real house of the holy this morning.
Sure
Huh?
has. It has.
Seeing some gardens grow.
Okay.
Seattle's Morning News for Thursday, August 20th.
Yeah, he's Charlie Harger. I'm Manda Factor.
Sully checking traffic on the 3s. That's every 10 minutes.
I love this.
Yeah.
Texter, Paul in Sammamish. Random thoughts. If Sully were a wildfire, he would be 0% contained.
True that. And I'm not sure if that's a positive.
I love it.
I'm really not sure.
By the way, the boss, he says he wants to meet with you at 9:02.
Let's just hope he's not up on pop culture as much as you guys are.
We are moving along. Mike Seibert is here, filling in for producer David Burbank today.
Hey, good morning.
And that's Nick Frasia. He is playing Zeppelin for us and also running the board. We have Jillian Rathry in for Katrina Gishard and Tim Hull in for Luke Ducey. Luke is doing great, by the way. We've been hearing from him. So he will be joining us soon as he continues to recover.
All right, Sully, you have a choke point coming up. What's up?
Yeah, I do. Big changes coming to first-time drivers in this state in terms of what they're going to be tested on and how many of them are now going to have to take driver's education classes.
It's 8:09 on Seattle's Morning News. 4 people, including 3 firefighters, were hurt in a fire at a Bellevue office building. It happened yesterday.
The fire broke out around 11:20 a.m. near Northeast 8th Street and 148th Avenue Northeast. The fire on the first floor reached up to the second floor and the attic, according to the Seattle Times. The roof collapsed, and the Bellevue Fire Department says nearly all of the building had fire and water damage. 3 firefighters had to go to the hospital. Their injuries included heat exposure, a cut from broken glass, and a back injury. A civilian suffered burns on one of their hands but did not go to the hospital. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
Cause of the fire is still under investigation.
We are getting a sobering look at the first hours of the fires that ravaged Spokane over the last month. Police have released body-worn cameras showing officers rushing in to help crews along the Spokane River August 1st.
How are you doing that? Could you try to go get a rake or something for my groundskeeper so we can try to put this out?
And sprinting door to door through smoke-filled neighborhoods to evacuate homes.
Spokane Police Department!
They put ribbons on doorknobs to show the homes had been cleared. More than 800 homes and other buildings were lost in 3 fires. Tens of thousands of acres have burned. The recovery has only just begun.
People living at a Renton apartment complex are on edge after a string of recent fires. KOMO News reports crews have responded to 11 fires near the Royal Hills apartment since June. Most recent one broke out right behind wooden buildings on Monday evening. Police say a property manager spotted a young boy running away from the flames. They tracked down his family and are now recommending reckless burning charges against the teenager.
One of the most destructive invasive pests in the country has shown up in Washington. The Seattle Times reports the emerald ash borer was confirmed in the Vancouver area yesterday. 2 people spotted the metallic green beetle on their windshield this month, snapped photos, and turned it over to the state. The bug has wiped out more than 100 million ash trees across the U.S. over the past 20 years, and no one has ever successfully gotten rid of it. Without action, the state says communities can expect to lose nearly all their ash trees within a decade.
8:11 now. Tacoma's Soundview Little League opened the Little League World Series with a 2-0 extra inning win over the team from Alabama yesterday in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Soundview plays a team from Texas tomorrow.
And the Mariners eked out a win last night against the Brewers.
The pitch. Swung on and missed, a devastating splitter. Gilbert punches the glove. He gets his 5th strikeout.
Final score 7-5. Here's pitcher Logan Gilbert after the game.
Yeah, we needed that. It was pretty drastic yesterday and then again early on in our direction. So that was big. We needed that, needed to come out hot.
What was so drastic about the day before?
We're not talking about that. How many times do I have to say this, man? We don't talk about what happened on Tuesday.
Okay. The Mariners do still have a losing record, but they get another shot at the Brewers later today.
Definitely not talking about that historic 22-0 loss against the Brewers, something that's only been done a few times since the 1800s. We're not going to talk about
We're moving on.
To weather, where we check the forecast. It's expected to be warmer than we were thinking. Mid-80s in Seattle today. Could be pushing 90 in spots. Overnight low of 58. Tomorrow we have some clouds start to move in, high of 80. And then on Saturday, that's the one you want to keep an eye on because showers, low 70s for a high. Isolated thunderstorms and might even have that east of the mountains at very dry out. A lot of concerns about what might happen there. So Sunday, we expect to have a couple showers, 74 for the high. Right now in Seattle, we have sun. It's 62.
And it's 8:13. That's time for a check on traffic once again. We do that every 10 minutes. Sully, what's up?
Well, we had a couple of cars kind of look like they got tangled up on westbound I-90 inside the Mount Baker Tunnel. They've been able to drive off and move outside the tunnel to the right shoulder there, but that's the reason why we were slow across the western tip of Mercer Island and kind of across the water. So we're getting a little bit better there. Plan on a couple of extra minutes to your drive, but it didn't stick around long, fortunately, so that's positive. We do have some westbound slowing on 520, but only approaching I-5, so really not too bad across the lake there. We are definitely thinning out northbound I-5 as you get past the Kent Des Moines Road up to 509. That's because of an earlier crash we had that was briefly blocking, still over on the right-hand shoulder there. You're going to need about an hour, maybe just under, from Federal Way to Seattle. We've got about a 50-minute trip from Puyallup to Renton, maybe a little bit more, depending on how you hit the volume. And then Renton to Bellevue is about 40 now. We've added a couple extra minutes right around the I-90 interchange with a lot of weaving and merging there. Also seeing some heavy brake lights up the Fife Hill to Highway 18. Little braking there. Overall, you're going to need about 22 minutes from Tacoma to Federal Way. But that's really the only blip in the Pierce County area. The I-5 drive back and forth between Olympia and Tacoma look really good. Eastbound over Tiger Mountain still struggling down to the east slope. That's because landscaping work has the right lane blocked. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. You can learn more at globalcu.org.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
It's 8:14. President Trump is signaling a possible new chapter in U.S.-North Korea relations.
He's claiming North Korea now has 57 nuclear weapons and says he expects to meet with Kim Jong-un before the end of the year. And the U.S. is simultaneously scaling back military exercises with South Korea and pulling a destroyer from the South China Sea.
Diplomatic opening or a strategic gamble? Joining us now live is News Nation correspondent Corey Smith. We appreciate having you this morning, Corey. Let's start with those 57 nuclear weapons. Is there intelligence to back that up?
It's a good question. You know, when President Trump made that statement yesterday, the first question a lot of reporters have was, where did that number come from? There have been academic studies, think tanks, nuclear watchdogs, even the own intelligence community in the United States that has put the number at anywhere between, 50 on the low end to as high as perhaps 90 or 100. So the 57 number fits into that range. I sent a question immediately after to the White House asking, did the president just, sort of on the spot declassify information that may have been classified? Got no response. But it certainly raised a few eyebrows, the fact that he would offer such a specific number, and you wonder, okay, well, where would it have come from? Well, obviously, with what's going on right now with scaling back the military exercises with South Korea, you can't talk about South Korea without talking about North, and obviously you can't talk about North Korea without talking about its nuclear program. So this may have been a case of the president hearing something in a briefing or talking with an advisor and then saying it to the public. I will point out, when he was asked about it later on in the day, he said he didn't want to talk about it. Because it sort of led to the question of, well, is your sort of reaching out to Kim Jong-un some sort of first step in reigniting nuclear talks with North Korea, which failed in 2019 back during his first term?
Corey, it's worth noting that the war between the South and North Korea, United States, technically not over. It's just a ceasefire that was signed in the 50s, no formal peace resolution. That's why it was so surprising in the first Trump administration when President Trump crossed the North Korean border and shook the hand of Kim Jong-un. What does a potential meeting look like this time around?
At this point, it's hard not to see how it wouldn't kind of be the same thing as we saw in 2019, symbolic. You know, the president said that we have a deal to end North Korea's nuclear ambitions, but nothing was signed. There were no details to offer, and the talks ultimately fell apart. Remember, he met him in 2018, met him again in early 2019, the famous photo at the demilitarized zone. And that led to some optimism that, wow, there may be something here. And then ultimately, you know, they go back in, I believe it was June of 2019, and immediately the talks fall apart because North Korea had promised to decommission one of its facilities. The United States wanted all of North Korea's nuclear program to stop. But North Koreans weren't willing to do that, so they left. And that's sort of where we are right now, which, again, is why it's so interesting to hear the president say that he reached out to Kim Jong-un to have communication and a conversation, then confirming yesterday that he was going to visit with Kim Jong-un at some point later this year. I will point out, Kim Jong-un's sister, who is also his top advisor, said the two have not been exchanging any messages, and if they have, she didn't know about it. And if there's anybody who would know that these messages are being traded back and forth, it'd be his top advisor, who is also his sister.
We mentioned the U.S. has pulled a destroyer from the South China Sea. Can you add more to that?
Yes, and this is an instance where the war with Iran is shaping other geopolitics. The USS George Washington, which was in the Pacific Theater, was pulled and is now in the Middle East right now to relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln, which has been the source of multiple reports of a mental health crisis on board, dealing with everything from water shortages to food problems. The White House strongly pushing back that those reports are overblown, if not outright false. So they did move the Washington over to the Arabian Peninsula. It is relieving the USS Abraham Lincoln, which has been in the middle of this record-breaking deployment without stepping foot on land. So that's the connection there. But also, it's hard not to look at it within the context of scaling back on joint exercises with South Korea, and then having, you know, some nice things to say about North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un recently.
Corey Smith, News Nation. Always good having you on the show, Corey. Thanks for joining us today.
Always appreciate it, guys. Have a great weekend.
You too. Take care. It's 8:19. The price is wrong. The FTC is warning retailers against personalized pricing.
Are you ever doing some online shopping, you see an item on sale that feels like it was made just for you? This is me whenever I'm looking at a floral print short sleeve shirt. I'm like, $29? They might as well be paying me to own this. It was meant to be. Well, more and more often, the price you find online might actually just be for you. Yesterday, the Federal Trade Commission put out a statement saying they're increasingly concerned that all the data companies are collecting about us is resulting in something called personalized pricing. For instance, if a retailer knows roughly how much you make or how much you usually spend on clothes in a month, or say they know you paid $30 last week for a shirt, well, they might have no problem bumping up a $25 price tag to $29. Meanwhile, someone else might be seeing that same shirt for $25 or $35 or whatever. And forget about clothes for a second. Could an online grocer upcharge you for milk if they know you've got several kids in your home? Could a rideshare app deduce whether you've already installed their competitor's app, and if not, maybe charge you a few extra bucks? You never know the difference, would you? The feds are warning retailers against doing this, saying it likely violates Section 5 of the FTC Act, which regulates unfair pricing. Their rationale is, yes, companies are allowed to charge whatever they want for something. In some instances, a salesperson can even look a customer up and down and offer one price to one person and not the other. Think of a fine art gallery, or maybe the guy selling Christmas trees near my house. He knows a fish when he sees one. But when you walk into a store with price tags on everything, customers assume, rightfully, that everyone's seeing the same price tags. That is no longer necessarily the case in e-commerce. So, where's the line? The FTC says the biggest issue is transparency, customers who don't even know they're being played. And while the government can't ban this practice outright, officials say these are the cases they plan to monitor most aggressively. So what should you do in the meantime? Well, experts say it might be time to invest in a VPN, a virtual private network, which hides where you're connecting to the internet from. Because when an air carrier thinks you're a customer in Botswana, they magically seem to offer you a cheaper price than if you were in San Francisco. Second tip, clear your cache online. The less your cookies say about where you've been shopping lately, the better. And third, maybe use paper money when shopping in person. Credit card companies are not just making money from your fees, they also sell information to a widening audience of companies. And now there are plenty of bots out there waiting to deduce just how much you are willing, personally, to shell out.
That's ABC's Brad Milkey.
Time to check traffic. We do that every 10 minutes with Chris Sullivan.
And we're kind of settled in. We're trying to get better in places. We're just not quite there yet. I want to thank our good friend Jay High Class of 1988. Let me know that southbound I-5, we do have a new little crash right by the Tacoma Dome. Looks like the State Patrol is able to move this thing off to the left shoulder a little bit. It's kind of right where the HOV lane peels off into its own lane on the left-hand side as you approach 16. So we have a little bit of braking around that. Again, it's southbound. Going the other direction, a little heavy up the hill to 18, and then Federal Way to Seattle's actually picked up about 10 minutes. Running about 50 minutes now on that drive, but 30 of that is from South Center. Renton to Bellevue now up to about 40 minutes. The S-curves are very active, and in fact, we're slow up through the construction zone at 44th before freeing up. Behind that, the Valley Freeway really slow from 180th on in. You add that to a little bit in Auburn, and we're still up at an elevated 50-minute trip. Hour and 20-minute drives from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue, so not exactly a good day there. We're also picking up some slowing in Totem Lake. For a little further south you go on the 405 corridor. And 18 struggling over Tiger Mountain. The right lane remains blocked for landscaping work. Started about 90 minutes ago. It's going to be with us till about 3 o'clock this afternoon. Hopefully that will wrap up tomorrow as scheduled. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Sunny and warm today. A high of 85 in Seattle, pushing 90 in spots. Right now it's 64 and sunny downtown.
Well, coming up on Seattle's Morning News, the countdown to the school year is on, but so is the threat of a teacher strike. KIRO News Radio's Tim Hull will have what you need to know. And Sully, you have a choke point coming up.
Yeah, speaking of school, driver's ed time. Big changes for first-time drivers coming up. We'll talk about that after the newscast.
All right, stay with us. It's 8:24.
Word here for Closets by Design. If you're having one of those mornings where you're already behind because you can't find anything, your closet's a mess, your pantry, it's overflowing, your garage, you can't use it, well, you're not doing anything wrong. Most homes just weren't set up to work the way we actually live. Here's what I learned about Closets by Design that I didn't know when I started with them. They do so much more than just closets. They do garages, pantries, laundry rooms. We had them work in our spare bedroom to make it into a home office with a wall bed, entertainment centers, mudrooms, everything. All custom built at their facility in Kent, and it's designed for your home. Nothing off a shelf, nothing pre-made. Less clutter, less frustration, because everything finally has a place. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. So go to closetsbydesign.com or call them 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get your project started today.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Boyteen from The G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
It is summertime, which means sunshine, baseball games, beach trips, hiking, fun with the family. And Brad, I'll bet it's easier to pay for with free checking from WaFd Bank.
That's right, Dave. Set your financial goals and stick to them with free checking. No minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. Hey, you'll also get spending tools to help you stay on top of your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank rated the best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states.
And tell me more about this card control feature I've heard so much about.
Dave, you can view transactions for individual cards, set controls and alerts, and if you forget your card at the restaurant, you can instantly turn it off while you go back to get it. You'll also have access to free tools like Zelle, mobile check deposit, and when those unfortunate times happen, submit fraud disputes right inside the WaFd mobile app.
And don't forget, you can choose from some great-looking debit cards, including Seattle Kraken and Seattle Seawolves cards. So visit WaFdBank.com and open your account today. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best. But I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
I want a woman. I want a big girl.
See the hysterical Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias when he takes the stage at Muckleshoot Casino Resort, Saturday, August 29th at 5:30 and 9:30 p.m.
This way, we both can agree on the temperature of the thermostat.
He's sold out stadiums around the world, and now he's coming to Muckleshoot Casino Resort on August 29th. Get tickets before they're gone to laugh out loud with Gabriel Iglesias at muckleshootcasino.com.
At Madrona Financial and CPAs, we believe there are 7 steps that must be taken in preparation for a successful retirement. Retirement needs more than just a basic income plan. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Paid political announcement.
Hey, Seattle, did you know your groceries could be getting more expensive? Seattle City Hall is considering an ordinance that could put grocery rewards and coupons on the chopping block. The mayor's proposed fair pricing ordinance could have the exact opposite outcome and make everyday living more expensive. Protect Seattle Savings is a coalition dedicated to defending the everyday savings that Seattle families rely on. Visit ProtectSeattleSavings.com to learn more and join the cause.
Paid for by Protect Seattle Savings.
Mom, she was living on her own and scared. We didn't feel it was very safe for her. And we found Aegis. Love it. Everybody is so welcoming and she is just so safe here.
She has serious Alzheimer's disease. When she sees me, she smiles, she gives me a hug, and we dance together.
Aegis Living helps you understand your choices so the right decision feels easier. Visit aegisliving.com and see why so many families say, Aegis Living, this must be the place. Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. According to naturalists from Puget Sound Express, more than 20 different family groups of Biggs orcas were seen on tours this week. The T-36s, T-100s, and T-137s threw a party off Marrow Stone Island, then turned up again just off the Edmonds Marina. The T-65 family wandered deep into Hood Canal. And out west, the T-19s and the T-49As prowled the banks near Cattle Pass with breaches and cartwheels. Humpbacks are also in our waters in full force right now, displaying a wide variety of surface behaviors. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers half-day and full-day guaranteed whale-watching tours departing from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Orcas, humpbacks, gray whales, minke whales, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 8:31. Seattle teachers in the school district have some serious homework to finish before the current contract expires.
KIRO News Radio's Tim Hole is here live with the latest.
Katie McDermott is a Seattle school nurse and a member of the union bargaining team.
Honestly, I'm feeling quite frustrated. However, earlier today, I noticed there was a lot of my colleagues in the building who are here for training, and they offered support. And that has really fueled me, and I think fueled the rest of our team to get a really good deal for you, our members.
Her message posted on the Seattle Education Association Facebook page after yesterday's bargaining session. Pay, workload, planning time, class sizes, and staffing among the issues on the table. The current contract expires August 31st. That's just one day before school is scheduled to start. Seattle Public Schools says it wants a deal that recognizes employees' work, but also it's dealing with what it calls the district's fiscal realities. Two sides back at the bargaining table starting 30 minutes from now. They plan to stay at it until 9 o'clock tonight.
Tim Hole reporting live. It's 8:32.
Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is brushing off a recall effort aimed at removing her from office. The mayor was asked about the petition yesterday during a press conference on a housing initiative.
So that is a legal process that will be playing out. I'm focused on leading the city and on making it an affordable place for people to live, and that's the work that we're here to discuss today.
Two Seattle residents filed the recall petition August 11th, accusing Wilson of ignoring public safety concerns and being derelict in her duties. A King County Superior Court judge has been assigned to the case and will hold a hearing August 31st.
One analyst is warning diesel could soon approach record prices again. According to AAA, the national average has jumped up to $5.50 for a gallon of diesel, the highest since May 28th. In Washington, it's $6.29 right now. Now, the record was set back in April at $6.97 a gallon. Gas Buddy petroleum analysts say the geopolitical tensions, of course, the war in Iran, could continue to put upward pressure on prices and ultimately impact food prices as well.
Just ahead of our traffic and weather. Sorry if you have camping plans in central and northeastern Washington. An air quality alert has just been issued for a huge area. This includes Wenatchee, Leavenworth, Cashmere, and Chelan to Omak, Okanagan, and Tonasket. The Department of Ecology doesn't even have an expiration because of an incredible amount of smoke that the state's two biggest wildfires are giving off. The air in those areas shows unhealthy. Experts say people should do everything they can to reduce exposure, Charlie.
If you were only camping, let's say in Chelan starting Saturday, that might be aware of. And by the way, if there were a Washington state citizenship test, you should make people pronounce Chelan, Omak, Okanagan, and Tonasket.
I think so, too.
Okay.
You can add Stahikit if you want to get in there.
Well, let's do that.
The list is very long.
I can't spell it, but I can pronounce it.
Sully is here with traffic on the threes.
And we're seeing some of our drives pick up the pace, which is actually pretty good. I'm going to focus down in Tacoma where we have a little bit more braking on southbound I-5 approaching the Dome because of this little issue we have on the left-hand side of the road back up from the Puyallup River Bridge, about a mile's worth of slowing. So give yourself a couple of extra minutes. That's really the only thing in Pierce County to worry about. Going the other direction, Federal Way to Seattle, we've got about a 45-minute drive. Actually much better, though it is really heavy at the north end of Boeing Field. Valley Freeway back under 50. Rented to Bellevue, though, going the other way. We're up to about 45 minutes now on that drive. Looks like we might have another issue on westbound I-90 just off the Mercer Island tip. This one just went from yellow to all red again, so I'll be checking into that. You'll need a couple extra minutes across the lake. And we still have a standard hour and 20-minute drive from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, some people are still in the clouds this morning. They'll burn off. Lots of sunshine for the day. And a little bit warmer, 85 today in Seattle, warmer in the south end. 74 tomorrow, Friday, a mix of clouds and sun, and 80. Saturday, we're still looking for the possibility of some pretty active weather. Thunderstorms a possibility. 71 the high Saturday, Sunday, lingering showers, and 74. Right now, it's sunny and 61 in Seattle.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Well, it's close to back to school time, and for a lot of kids, that means it's time for driver's ed.
There are some big changes coming to the requirements for new drivers and new license seekers over the next few months, though, and Sully is here with what we need to know.
Yeah, because the state is not only adding a new testing section to driver's training, it is now requiring driver's ed for older applicants. Starting November 1st, any first-time driver's license applicants under the age of 25 must complete a new work zone and emergency responder training course. It's an hour-long course that will launch on September 1st. Department of Licensing's Nathan Olson says it will go over things like zipper merging, how to negotiate work zones, or move over laws, and other safety measures.
It's required for everyone getting their first license, who are 25 and under. It's free and it's online. It's mobile friendly and it's desktop friendly, so you can do it on your home computer or you can do it on your phone if you want to.
And there will be a test to take right after. You must pass this test to get your license. Now, this is a standalone course for now, but will eventually be rolled into driver's ed training. Young drivers who are moving here and want a Washington driver's license from out of state will now also have to take this work zone course.
If you have a valid license from another state and you want to get a license in this state, and you're between 16 and 24, you're going to have to take that course as well.
So anybody may be coming here to go to college and want to get a license here. That's going to be different. So no simple transition now for young license holders coming in for other states. Now, Washington is also, and I think this is going to have the bigger impact, expanding the age requirements for those who are required to take driver's ed. Right now, if you're 18, you really only need to go in, pass the written and driving tests, you're good. Starting January 1st, 18-year-olds will now be required to take driver's education too.
Anyone who's 15, 16, 17, or 18 now and getting their first license is going to have to take a driver training course. So you can't just wait until 18 and then not take a driving training course and then get your first license. You actually at 18 have to take a driver training course.
And Olson says that age will go up a year every year until 2030. So by 2030, anyone 22 years old or under will be required to make that 21 years old, but under 22 will be required to take that driver's ed test.
One of the things that we found in our research was that for those who were 18 to 20 years old and had not taken driver training, that group had an 80% higher rate of involvement in accidents than those who had driver training. So the driver training courses work really well.
But they are also really, really expensive. Those courses can run up to $1,000 or more. State is looking at ways to lower those costs for lower income applicants with a voucher system. That's still being worked out. They should have that put to bed by January 1st when this goes into effect for 18-year-olds. Olson says these changes were directed by the legislature with one goal in mind: safety.
We believe it's going to improve driving, fewer accidents, fewer fatalities, more safety on the road.
It's also state creating a new mandatory safe driving class for Washington drivers between 18 and 24 years old who have 2 moving violations on their record now. Starting January 1st, those drivers will need to take a course or risk losing their license. You can find all the information about these changes at mynorthwest.com. The only link I don't have up there yet is for the actual work zone and first responder course because it hasn't gone live yet. It goes live September 1st. So go and check that out. But big changes for young drivers and who's going to be required to take that driver's ed.
And it's really clear, Sully, when here we are, the summer construction season, you can tell a lot of people on the road simply don't know what to do.
Or they get flustered because they've never been taught specifically about, oh my gosh, they're cones. Oh my gosh, the lane's supposed to end. I got to get over now. So there's a lot to do with that, with younger drivers, certainly. So I think this is it definitely makes sense, especially since we have speed zone cameras and work zones. We have, they've upped the fine on things like that. So I think it's just adds training, makes sense. We don't want anybody getting hurt in those work zone crashes. I mean, how many we've seen it? People just drive into them they're distracted, they get confused, whatever. Plus the fact that they're actually going to teach a little zipper merging, I think would be very helpful. So that way
Text line going nuts for that.
Well, it's just so necessary. And how
people know Sully is their conduit, and people know zipper merging.
Yep.
For Sully.
Yeah, because I mean, it just makes sense that engineers created the pavement the way they did, and they block off lanes the way they do to allow 2 lanes to back up a certain amount, not 1 lane to back up way far away, and with an open lane. And then, of course, people are like, you're cutting the line. But no, they're not. They're using the road that God gave them.
Sorry I mentioned it, Manda.
Yeah. I mean,
God gave them.
Yeah. So anyway, use the road God gave you, or our engineers.
Or taxpayers.
So, yeah. So they are God to the legislature. I don't know what that means.
Hey, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to talk about the crash we have in the Tacoma area. Again, go to mynorthwest.com to check out these changes. And we'll have more for you coming up in just 3 minutes.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Jazz Alley invites you to experience the legendary Take 6, the most awarded a cappella group in history, with 10 Grammys. Shows run August 20th through the 23rd. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
8:43 now. We check traffic on the 3s with Sully.
Yeah, we do have a sizable backup now on southbound I-5 getting into and through the Tacoma area. It's about 1.5 miles now from basically the Port of Tacoma Road up to the Dome, where it looks like the left lane is partially blocked for this crash we have right there where 705 comes on, or really right where the HOV lane kind of peels off to the left-hand side there. So plan on about an extra 8 minutes as you work your way from Federal Way down into and through Tacoma. Say you're heading over to 16 or spots towards JBLM. That's really our only bother that we're dealing with in Pierce County. The rest of the county looks really good. Even the Valley Freeway, nothing really till you get up to Auburn. And then after Auburn, it's not bad till you get up to the far north end. We've got about 45 minutes now from Puyallup to Renton, so we're picking up the pace there. But we've had a couple of minutes from Renton to Bellevue. We're still up at about 45. S-curves are active and then just kind of annoyingly slow the rest of the way on up into Bellevue. Looks like we do have a new crash or stall. It's on westbound I-90 just off of Mercer Island. They're right onto the floating bridge. It's on the right-hand side of the road, so that's why we're slowed up from the middle of the island over to the middle of the lake. Add a couple extra minutes to the drive from Bellevue to Seattle. Federal Way to Seattle, 45 to 50 minutes, depending on how you hit the volume, and we've settled into that hour and 20-minute grind from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, sunshine for the afternoon, warm today, 85. We'll see a mix of clouds and sun for tomorrow, a high of 80. And then Saturday, we're looking for the threat of some thunder showers, 71. May see a few sun breaks and just plain old showers, too. Then on Sunday, just lingering showers and 74. Right now, sunny and 61 in Seattle.
A 50-year-old cold case. James Lynch is next with the Cold Case Project.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, where he can get a battery for under $100. Lonnie, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge, and Lonnie does that for free too. In no time at all, John is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Have something to say? We'd love to hear it. Text KIRO News Radio at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
You know that feeling on a Friday night after a long week and all you want to do is just get away from everything? What if you didn't have to go anywhere? John Curley here. Seattle Hot Tub Company carries hot tubs, swim spas, and cold plunges for every lifestyle. A hot tub for those quiet evenings under the stars, swim spa for the morning workout, and cold plunge for recovery. All American-made products, different sizes, different features, different price points. Always clearly marked. There's no games and no high-pressure sales. Find them online at seattlehottub.com.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, this week's Cold Case Project is from 1977, where a 20-year-old Tacoma man was shot and killed. Partial remains were discovered a year later.
Still, after nearly 50 years, no suspect has been found. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has this week's Cold Case Project.
Good morning, everyone. Our Cold Case Project for this week is a case from a man that went missing in 1977. Partial remains were found in 1978, but they weren't identified until 2024. He was a victim of homicide, shot to death, according to the medical examiner. My good friend and Pierce County Sheriff's Department PIO Carly Capetto joins us now. And Carly, thank you for joining us. So good to see you. And let's start at the beginning. Talk to me about this case, how it started and where it's gone since then.
Yeah, absolutely. This case, like many others, continue to sit on our shelves unsolved, and we want to bring resolution to this case. But this is a case from 1977, and what's interesting about it is that he disappeared in 1977, but the first remains weren't found until 1978, when mushroom pickers had found partial remains in 1978. And then it wasn't until 10 years later in 1988 is when more of those remains were found. And it sat for a very long time before the investigation really started to pick up any speed to identify him. But what the turning point for us turning this into a homicide case, cold case, was in 2024. His remains were sent off for genealogy testing, and that's when he was identified as William Church Jr.
What happens to the investigation when so much time passes, when you have so little information? How do investigators keep a case like this alive over the decades?
Well, back in 1977, it did not help that there was nothing really virtually filed. So most everything sat in paper file cabinets. Many of the new detectives that took on the case, there is very little in the file to go off of. The technology was not good, and the way that they stored records, there weren't a lot of rules and regulations on records storage. And obviously we've improved that over the years, but because this is a pretty old case, there's little to go off of. We know that he was 20 years old when he disappeared. And we also know that he had a fiance, but we only have her first name, which is Mary. We put out a bulletin in December of 2024 with a drawing of what Will would look like, or Bill. He went by Bill. And specifically, we were reaching out for his fiance, Mary, with only the first name. That's all we knew. But we were really hoping by showing that picture of him that it would spark and somehow go on social media and locate this Mary, which was the fiance who reportedly was the last person to see him. Because we have not been able to locate Mary, our case has remained cold.
What would you like to say about the need for them to come forward with what they know and what they remember?
We hope that if anyone knew that there was a Mary that potentially had a fiance that had died at a young age, any sort of interviews we could ask to locate this Mary would be wonderful. We also do believe that maybe he had a young child. The challenging part about it is William was adopted by his own family, so there's not a lot of history there as well. So it's unknown what became of his own child, if there was still a living child out there. But any of those people, either Mary or his young child, that would listen to this and possibly be like, hey, this could be my ancestor, this could be my father, we encourage them to call us.
Alrighty, Carly, I sure do appreciate you joining us today. Thank you so much for your time and your information. We do want to send the call out for anybody who may have been in Bill Church's orbit in the mid-1970s, may have known if he was beefing with someone back then, or just have any information of what might happen to him. We want them and encourage them to call Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS, and you can remain anonymous with your information if you choose to do so. And maybe if someone calls, we can get some new information for investigators, and hopefully we can bring a close to this decades-old cold case and give some closure to those who knew him and his family that are still alive today. So, Carly, thank you so much, and I hope the best for you in the rest of the day.
That is James Lynch with this week's Cold Case Project.
It's 8:53. That's time for a check on traffic once again. Every 10 minutes on the threes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
We got about a 10-minute delay, an unusual delay, southbound I-5 getting through Tacoma. Usually don't see this time of hour, this time of day. We are still working with the left lane being blocked right at the Tacoma Dome. Again, in the southbound direction, backup extending now to Fife, about 2.5 miles. The car that's involved in this, they've got the tow there, so hopefully they'll get this thing up and out of the way. But plan on probably 30 minutes to go from Tacoma down, Federal Way into Tacoma, and all of it's just right there trying to get through the Tacoma core. That's the only thing in Pierce County. The rest of that part of the map looks great. And then Federal Way to Seattle, we're running back up over 50 minutes now. We're really heavy past the north end of Boeing Field now and the West Seattle Bridge. Give yourself about 45 on the Valley Freeway. Things are getting better there, though that north end part of the drive is still going to be pretty rough. And then Renton to Bellevue is about 40. Still working with the right lane being blocked on the westbound I-90 as you get off the western tip of Mercer Island. There as you get to about the middle of the lake before things start easing off. You're going to need about 30 minutes to go from Bellevue to Seattle on I-90, only 20 on 520. But, of course, you're going to have to pay the max toll there. Coming down from the north end, we're over an hour and 20 minutes now from Everett into Bellevue because of brake lights through Canyon Park and through Kirkland. For I-5, if that's standard hour and 20-minute drive for you guys. 18 over Tiger Mountain, trying to get better, but we still have the right lane blocked for landscaping on the east slope of Tiger Mountain. This report brought to you by Harborstone Credit Union. Earn up to $30 per month just for using your Harborstone PNW Cashback debit card. Open your free checking account online today, harborstone.com/cash.
Expecting sunshine today, highs in the mid-80s, pushing 90 in spots. Tomorrow, we cool off a bit, and then on Saturday, we might have some lightning in the forecast. Much cooler, some showers, 71 the high. Right now in Seattle, it is 64 degrees.
It's 8:55, the G and Ursula show coming up. It was good news for the Northwest team in the Little League World Series yesterday. They're going to chat with a very proud father who's celebrating his son's first Little League win.
KIRO Newsradio is honored to bring home one of the nation's top awards in our industry, the prestigious National Edward R. Murrow Award for breaking news coverage. One award is the result of our team's hard work every single day, and none of it would be possible without you. You trust us with important information every time you choose us. Whether you listen over the air, on the KIRO Newsradio app, or you watch us on YouTube, thank you.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. If you're at the stage where you need readers, whether you've had LASIK or not, it may be time to consider K2 Vision RLE. I tell my King LASIK patients, laser vision correction won't solve the eventual need for reading glasses due to an aging, dysfunctional lens.
But K2 Vision RLE will. It's not a question of if your lens becomes dysfunctional, it's when. At that point, you'll need reading glasses and could benefit from refractive lens exchange. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. In other words, no glasses, no contacts, and no readers.
And no cataracts.
Exactly. After K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
K2 Vision doctors have performed over 150,000 procedures and followed the outcomes. They have the experience to know when it's your right time for RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consult today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
I'm driving a new Subaru Forester Touring Hybrid from Carter Subaru. It is so comfy, loaded with family-friendly safety features, and with high gas prices right now, I am loving my first hybrid. Right now, you can get a 2026 Subaru Crosstrek starting at 1.9% financing for 36 months on approved credit. Visit Carter Subaru during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Ballard, Shoreline, or cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 8/31/26.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Eric Johnson here. I covered a lot of accidents over the past 30 years or so, but I never got to say much about what to do after a crash. Be honest, do you know what evidence to collect, what pictures to take, what documents to request, or what you shouldn't say to your insurance company? The Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the roads throw at them. Know your rights and how to avoid common mistakes after an accident by getting your free copy at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hello, sweltering Seattle. John Curley here. Is your home staying cool? Are you losing sleep because it's just too hot? At Home Comfort Alliance, the goal is not to sell you a new system. It's to fix the one that you have. Repair first, replace only if it truly makes sense, saving you time and money. If your system's done, a heat pump gives you both cooling and heating for year-round comfort. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at HomeComfortAlliance.com. Call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington